Hurry, hurry, hurry. You know what? Fuck your fish market. That's what I'm saying. Rip Doug. Froggy Fresh Doug. Frogman Doug. Hurry, hurry, hurry. He's so bad. Anybody want to buy me a Lotus? That'd be cool. Sugar daddies out there or something. You always make it weird, Atsuko. Always. I want you talking about my route. Lotus is about one of the cheapest ways you can get into a supercar. Like a Lotus Exige. Besides like a weird kit car thing, you know.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They want to let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
I did go turn my paperwork in for that grant, so I'm supposed to hear back from it. You can only start like either, I guess, on the 15th or on the 1st, and then you'll get paid for a month because they only pay once a month. It's weird, but
Brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves. Never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away. Burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack.
our chief of police just got sent home pending investigation. He was randomly selected for on-duty breathalyzer and failed. He claims there's like extenuating circumstances, and he's basically home pending investigation. I like the guy, honestly. Seems like he's been a pretty good chief of police, but I don't know. All his lawyer has said is that they're excited to meet for the like the interview portion because there's like circumstances that the investigators don't know about. So I don't know what he's gonna say. The news just picked it up and ran with it today. Some people have known for a few days, but the news finally broke the story officially today. That's all I've seen on Facebook all day was talking about him. He's a former Marine. He's a good guy. Like, he knew Dad and come and checked on him. He was the first guy that responded when I shot myself in the leg with a nail gun. Yeah, he seems like a decent guy, but you know, I only get the one perspective from him. You know, I don't know how he treats other people because I kind of know him, or he knows me, but I don't know how he treats other people. But to me, he was always great. So we'll see.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals.
I'm also a veteran
with
too,
Will
and he knows
Bird.
that.
I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. If you want to support the show, go to coldbeer.fund. We greatly appreciate it. So this grant, basically what it is it's a grant in place from Helene. And it's supposed to be putting displaced workers back to work that were displaced from the flood. They don't pay for materials. They don't pay for equipment. It's only labor. And if you're a displaced worker, they will basically pay your wages for like 29 hours. For some reason, it's only 29 hours a week, which is a weird number. You think it'd be at least 30, but it's 29 hours a week for so many weeks. I can't remember what they said, 16 weeks or something, which would be 4 months. And they pay you straight. Like the money doesn't go to the business then to you. Like it goes straight to you, but you're working for the business that was affected by the flood as well. So me and Mariah both signed up for it, where we both worked at the campground. We'll see what they say. I don't know. She said she was going to try to send our paperwork in that today after we met with her, but they probably wouldn't work on it until Monday, and then we wouldn't hear anything back about like wages and start date and stuff like that until probably the middle of next week. So we'll see what happens. On Tuesday, I've got another meeting with the VA. It's called an informal conference with HLR, so higher level review. So basically like a review manager, I guess. And I get to make kind of my argument of why I think my decision should be changed, and we'll see how that works. That is Tuesday afternoon when I do that, I think. I got to say to my phone. I think it's Tuesday. Monday, they only had appointments like at 8 a.m., so it's like Tuesday afternoon. Make an argument about my case and see what I can do with that. I'm really to the point to where I'm just going to try like hell to save up or sell something and get like the $2,500, $3,000 it takes for like Remedical to just take over and do my shit for me and just be like done with it. Fuck it. I'm so aggravated with the whole thing. It seems like it drags on. And they'll give me increases, but it's like incremental. They'll give me the smallest increase they can with the least amount of back pay they can and just be like, now he'll leave us alone. And then I have to do it again. 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 Like it's getting old. Just give me my shit. Like I know I probably offhand know 30 people that are 100% permanent and total that do much better than me, like in society. Like, I know I qualify. The doctor knows I qualify. The VA knows I fucking qualify. It's a matter of every month they can fight me that I'm not getting paid. They're saving money, basically. And they're on a saving money spree right now, trying to protect their jobs. Everybody's getting fucking laid off. I was basically told directly that they can't prove that the administration put out some type of notice because they can't prove that. But they believe that the Raiders have been told by the current administration to keep people down and be more stringent, I guess, on the ratings and the rating system, because they've tracked all this for fucking years and years and years. They can tell, right? Like, they know there's going to be, let's say, even if it's only 50%, let's say 50% of veterans that they just give a 90% to instead of 100%, that a 50% of them give up at 90%. How much money does that save when you're talking fucking 20,000 veterans? It's insane, but whatever. We're still on it. I'm trying to stay motivated. I'm like, fuck, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's too woke. My PTSD is too woke for the current administration, I guess. Anyways, we're here. I actually wanted to talk about Bert a little bit. I saw somebody talking about it. And then this popped up. This was interesting. Let me get some audio.
Bert. Hey, y'all.
So this is an impression. This is Narc doing an impression, right? But then he calls Bert.
Hey, y'all. It's Bert Lynch in my show. Had no audio again tonight. We took it dark. Bert. Hey, Bert.
So now he's calling him.
Hey, Bert. How you doing?
I heard a cat. Meow.
Hey, Bert. How you doing?
Who's this?
Jason Pope from Kentucky.
Why are you calling me, man?
Well, I was wondering about your show. You had a show and there's no music or voices on it, and then it went dark.
Why are you calling me? Well, I was calling about your show. There was a show that was on, and there was no music and no voices. Then it went black. What happened?
I was trying to watch it. What happened?
I was trying to watch it. What happened?
Try again and take your phone off on no caller ID, okay?
Well, no, I can't do that because you don't answer when I take it off call. No caller ID.
What do you mean you don't answer?
You don't answer it when I don't have the no caller ID on it. So
Why do you think I don't answer no caller ID when I did this time because I see somebody keeps calling me during my show every night. Is that you?
that's me, sir. I'm trying to.
So Bert said, somebody keeps calling me every day through my show. Is that you? That's me, sir. Trying to get some information about this show.
I see somebody keeps calling me during my show every night. Is that you?
That's me, sir. I'm trying to get a hold of you. I want to control you.
Stop doing it in the middle of my show.
I'm not going to stop doing it. I donate. I should be part of the
I will not stop doing it. I donate to Bert. I should be part of the show. This is so good.
hold of you. I want to control you.
Stop doing it in the middle of my show.
I'm not going to stop doing it. I donate. I should be part of the show. I give you money.
I've never seen that. I've never seen anything from you.
Yes, you have. You give me hearts. I can send you pictures of them. Are you? Why are you not?
You're out of your mind.
You send me hearts. Like a Cash App, you send somebody a thumbs up or whatever. Like it always asks you to like reply when someone sends money. You send me hearts, bro. I can send you pictures of the hearts that you sent me because I sent you money, and that's why I'm calling you during the show. Your audio's not working. That is so good. Let's do it again. He said, I'm trying so hard to get my cat to meow while I'm talking to Bert. That would probably connect with him a little bit better.
Hey, Bert.
Dude, I've never had a cat before. Well, that's not true. When I was growing up, we had a barn cat, but it wasn't like a normal cat. Like that motherfucker is feral. Like it was insane. Like it would catch snakes and fuck them up. right? Like but now we have an inside cat. Mariah got it. Its name's Lana. Anyways, we've had it for a while. The cat is basically silence. Every once in a while you hear her go meow. Like if she's like wanting permission, like jump up on like the counter or something, just barely. You can't hear her when she purrs at all, unless you like got her head on her, touching her, like her ear touching her. You can't hear her at all. She's basically silent. She doesn't make any sounds or whatever. For some reason, when the house is empty or the cat thinks the house is empty, she meows so fucking loud. Never around us. Never while we're in the house. But like I was being quiet today and the kids were out with Mariah. It was just me. And I was in the very back doing something on Liam's computer and I was super quiet. And the cat thought I wasn't there. And it's like, meow, 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 just constantly, as fast as it can go. It also does the same thing at like first thing in the morning when we're all in bed. I thought the first time it did it, I thought it was like trapped or something, or it was hurt, or the house was on fire and it was doing like a lassie. But it's like, meow, meow, meow. Do cats do that normally? Like they won't make noise around people? But as soon as they're like fucking bored or something, I don't know. Or by themselves, they just like freak the fuck out. Like constantly, meow, 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 meow. The only other time it makes noise is she does not like to go outside. So when we took her to Mariah's mom's when we went on that vacation, she did that the whole time. But that was because she was upset. Normally, she's completely fucking silent. Unless it's 6 a.m. in the morning or she thinks she's alone. It's fucking insane. And sometimes it's even like warbling. Like it's not like a regular meow. It'd be like like crazy. That's the one she does in the morning. Anyways, let's listen to Bart again.
How you doing? Hey, Bert. How you doing?
Who's this?
Jason Pope from Kentucky.
Why are you calling me, man?
Well, I was wondering about your show. You had a show and there's no music or voices on it, and then it went dark. I was trying to watch it. What happened?
Try again and take your phone off.
Try again. Just try again.
Try again.
What's the guy's name that won the lottery? Hi, my name's Bo. What's his name? And I won the lottery. That's who you need to start telling him you are.
Try again and take your phone off on no caller ID, okay?
Well, no, I can't do that because you don't answer when I take it off call. No caller ID.
What do you mean you don't?
Oh, Swaney.
You don't answer it when I...
Tell him your name's Swo Beanie. And you won the lottery, you want to donate. My name's Swo Beanie.
I don't have...
Sorry, I have really bad short-term memory. I don't forget people's names intentionally. I don't remember anybody's names.
The no caller ID on it. So
I don't answer the caller ID at this time because I see somebody keeps calling me during my show every night. Is that you?
Every night, the exact same time, during my show. I don't answer no caller ID, but I did this time because somebody keeps calling me every night during my show at the same time. Is that you? That's me, sir. I'm trying to get some details on this show you're doing.
Caller ID at this time because I see somebody keeps calling me during my show every night. Is that you?
That's me, sir. I'm trying to get a hold of you. I want to control you.
Stop doing it in the middle of my show.
I'm not going to stop doing it. I donate. I should be part of the show. I give you money.
I've never seen anything from you.
Yes, you have. You give me hearts. I can send you pictures of them. Why are you not?
You're out of your mind.
I think, honestly, he probably does not want to answer calls with block caller ID. But he's so money scared. Like he's terrified that he's going to lose some money somehow. That he's got to be on caller ID constantly. All the time. All the time. He's got to answer it, caller ID or not. He's got to pick it up. It might be somebody trying to donate to me. It might be a brand new investor trying to buy me a new studio. This is how I know that. What's the shit where you believe, like if you believe manifestation? This is how I know manifestation isn't real. Because by now, Bo or fucking Bert would have manifested 2 socks at least. But no, he just keeps going down. But that motherfucker thinks he's the next Tucker Carlson. He's going to do it. He might have a show on Fox News. The president's going to be running around playing his show he wrote 40 fucking years ago, or playing his song he wrote 40 years ago at his campaign. So it can't be real. There's no way. Or Bert would have already manifested it. That's for sure. Very good job, Narc. He watches these shows every night, so you're probably busted now, but keep it up. Oh, not Phil. He did one. There's two that I want to look at. He did one last night that was really funny. I don't remember when the other one was. I'll have to go check the clips. But last night somebody got on him about some Bible stuff. It was pretty good. Here, we'll just start. He's live right now, I'm assuming. Oh my God, I can't do it.
Everybody, and welcome to the Burt Lynch Show.
2 hours of this.
Here we are. I apologize for yesterday. I was under the weather.
His audio sounds like shit. It sounds it sounds worse than mine did yesterday, that's for sure.
And feeling better today. Still have a little bit of a scratchy throat. I'll get by it. I'll get through it. Got the air conditioner cranking. It's 107 degrees. And it's well after 7 now. It's very hot.
You guys that live out in super hot places, I know that your codes are different and your houses are insulated better. They take better steps to seal them up and more insulation, like out in Arizona and places like that. I've seen that from like home inspectors. Are your bills like stupid expensive? Is like your electric bill like stupid expensive in the summer compared to like in the winter? Like, do you have like a fucking $500 electric bill in the summer and then like a fucking $60 bill in the winter, or what?
Today. So I don't know if you could hear the...
Or does the insulation and the extra steps they take and more efficient units offset that some? I don't know.
The air conditioner or not, but I have to leave it on at least for a little while, and I'll try to shut it off in a few minutes. See if it makes a little difference. It makes a little difference to me because I hear it so loudly, and I'm trying to hear what I'm broadcasting and also what's being played on the playback.
He's also got 2 audio channels open. So I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I'm talking about like real hot places like Southern California. Well, not even Southern California, like Arizona, like desert places. What's it like? So you notice he's got 2 audio channels open. When he mutes himself right here to cough, we shouldn't hear anything. If I mute my microphone, you shouldn't hear anything. But for some reason, he's got underlying audio even when he's muted. So listen to this. There's 2 audio channels open at all times on his show, and I've actually heard them out of sync before on the show.
And I'm trying to hear what I'm broadcasting and also what's being played on the playback.
Listen. So it's not like he's muting. He's not muting. Or if he is, he's got another microphone line. Because the other day, he took a phone call and muted, and we could still hear him muffled on the phone call talking. It was probably talking to Narc.
But I hope you guys can hear okay. Let me get over to this other stream. I got a few
He is looking rough.
people in here. Hello to the lands. Thank you for being here today. Jesus Christ loves us. Says,
Hilda Land.
I guess you said happy Friday. It's Thursday, darling. It's Thursday. Did I miss 2 days? I don't think so.
This is from last night.
So I'm seeing that Robert has says, hey viewers, waiting. Let's beat the haters off the page and let's hit the thumbs up. Thank you for that. Thank you for trying to promote the thumbs up.
Let's see. It got 17 thumbs up and 31. Make that 32 thumbs down.
Carol Watson, I don't believe we've ever seen you in the room. Welcome. And I see you waving the American flag. That's a great sign. Tawana is in the house.
Nevada Equal Pay. So that's a program they offer, right? Our local thing does that too. If you've had service with them for at least 2 years at your current location, they will take your average bill, divide it by 12, and you pay the same amount every month. If you go over, they'll still have you pay the overages, but usually it works out pretty good in your favor. and you're an old home, it'd be expensive, but new homes have R35 or higher in attic. Yeah, because one thing, like when we were down at my aunt's house, it was a new construction that she bought secondhand, so it had one owner before, and it was an Indian couple, and it had marble floors downstairs, like big marble tiles, like 2 foot by 2 foot marble tiles, white marble, and that stayed cool. But I was looking at our air conditioner, and it's a nice name brand unit, but it's not like stupid expensive. But their house stayed chilly. There was no like when I was young growing up in houses that even had central heat and air, there were like some rooms that would just stay warm. Or like you didn't want to sit too close to like this wall because the sun hit it all day and you could feel the heat. But her house stayed frosty. When they set the AC, that's what it stayed at. And I heard it wasn't like running constantly, even though we were up in the high 90s some days we were there. It was running, kicking on, kicking off like it's supposed to. So I figured there's got to be really good insulation or some shit.
House 2 from Springfield, Missouri. And then you never hear the AC or the people in the hall. So I guess it depends on what device you're listening on. If you're using a device with a high-end set of speakers, you're probably going to hear it. But if you're on a phone or a tablet or something like that, maybe not.
$100 a month is really good for a power bill. I mean, I would be fine paying that for sure.
I can tell you that when you're wearing headphones, if you're wearing headphones in your ears, the dynamic of a headphone as opposed to the tiny little piezo speakers and tweeter speakers that are in a computer, they're tuned completely differently. So you hear the low end a lot better with headphones in, or earphones or earbuds or whatever you're using. The real expensive in-ear headsets, which I don't have any of those. I don't really have any, even though...
That's what I've got. In-ear monitors. You don't have these? These are actually custom fit to me, Bert. Why don't you got some? Why don't you have some?
A lot of entertainers use them on stage. I never have.
Oh.
I've had entertainers tell me that once you go to the in-ears, you will never go back because you can hear everything on stage so perfectly. Well, the problem with that is you can't hear the audience when you have them in. You can't hear them talking. You can hear them. You can tell they're clapping because you can hear the ambient sound of it, but it's not the same vibe. And I get on stage, I want that vibe. That's why the Beatles quit touring. The Beatles quit touring because they couldn't hear themselves on stage. They said, we love it. We love being out. We love being out here, but we can't hear ourselves. But the audiences are too loud. They won't stop long enough for us to hear what we're doing. So, yeah. Probably going to... Lapel is in the house. She said they had their hottest day yesterday. You guys do me a favor, and I'm going to have to do this a few times tonight because of my throat. You guys do me a favor, check out the logo just for a second.
See, he thinks he's muted. He's still not muted. Bert, when you watch this, because I know you watch everything I do, when you watch this, you have another audio channel open, or your microphone's not fully muted. One of the two. When you press mute on your main microphone, we should hear nothing. Not like a muted sound, or it sounds like you're at the end of a tunnel, or just a lower. You should hear nothing.
Okay. We had our hottest day yesterday, 118. Lapel, what city are you in, hon?
I just saw a post claiming that Bongino and Pam Bondi had a big fight over Epstein. Bongino's thinking of leaving, and if Bongino leaves, then Cash is leaving too, or some shit. I think what they're trying to do, if there's any truth to that, what I think they're actually trying to do is Trump will look at that and say, well, Bongino and Cash, I probably want to keep them because they have a huge following, right? And I think they're trying to bluff. If this is true, I would think they're bluffing to get Bondi gone and someone else put in her spot. Because Trump will look at that as like, I'm losing two people with gigantic followings that people love, or Pam Bondi, who wasn't an influencer, who doesn't have millions of followers or whatever. Like, I can replace a Pam Bondi, and I can say, I don't know why she said she had the list on her desk. There was no list. Why would she go out and say that? Like, once he gets rid of people, he badmouths the fuck out of them. So she'll be done. Horrible, the worst ever. He might spend like a week or two saying she was great. She just had other things she wanted to do. But after that, 2 weeks down the road, it'll be how horrible she was. He'll give her a nickname, the Epstein list denier or some shit, and that'll be the end of
it. Robert says he's using Altic Lansing. Well, those are great. Altic Lansing is what I'm using as well. Do they have a subwoofer mixed in? Do you have a subwoofer that's got its own speaker and all that? Because I've actually got 3 sets of Altic Lansing, old school. You see. making a mess. Not going to be able to show it to you. Yeah, that one. I have 3 of these. There we go.
Amazing.
Pretty decent set of speakers, but I'm listening on these headphones. Oh, lapels in Arizona. Yeah, honey, you are definitely out there where the heat is. No doubt about that. Phoenix, Arizona.
But that's true. You shouldn't care what someone's following is anywhere in the Justice Department. But Trump doesn't look at it like that, right? With Trump, everything's a TV show. Everything is a popularity contest.
A friend of mine that lives in Phoenix, and I haven't talked to him in probably 20 years, but he was my right-hand man when I owned my bars in Savannah, Georgia. Mike.
All the bars. Owned the bars.
Savannah before I did, and went back home to Phoenix. And last I heard, he was working in a bar in Phoenix as a manager. When I drove through Phoenix to get to Vegas, I stopped in to see him, and we talked on the phone a few times, but it's been a long time. It just made me think about him. Used to be Facebook friends with him, but I haven't seen him or his other half in a long time.
Imagine that. No one hangs out with Bird anymore.
It's weird how people drop off of Facebook and you kind of forget. But Phoenix is a hot place, no doubt. We have not hit 100.
What is a cooling center? Like somewhere where you can go and it's like air conditioned because it's so hot? Is that what you're saying?
10 yet this year. And we've already hit 118. Good man. All right. Robert says no subwoofer. Yeah, if you add a subwoofer to your speakers, it's night and day different. You'll love the audio.
If Trump tries pitching one conspiracy theory that I think is semi-compelling but still won't get him out of it is the idea that he's playing this much larger game, right? He's doing 5D chess. I've seen these comments like, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, man. I think it's just a ploy. It's a bluff. It's a tactic. It's 5D chess. If Trump starts alluding to that, like there is a list, but he's using it right now, and maybe he's using that to pressure people into voting for him a certain way, which is part of it. Like, oh, they passed a big, beautiful bill because he pressured rhinos that were on the list into voting for it, even though they didn't like it. That needs to be immediately denounced by Congress. I don't know if they will. They're all pussies. And investigated. Right? That's you can't do that. You can't blackmail people into voting. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and for pets. That's cool.
You'll love the way it sounds, especially if you get a subwoofer that's tunable, which you can turn up and down separate from the main speakers, so that you can get the right level of sub that you want. Makes all the difference in the world.
Another big thing he doesn't have going for him in midterms or pressure-wise or even confirmation, like if Cash Patel and Bongino leave and gets rid of them, confirmation-wise, is all the pressure that Elon Musk was putting on people. Remember during confirmation hearings, Elon Musk was openly saying, if you don't confirm Trump's people, I will bring millions of dollars and I will primary you in your home state the next time you're up for election. You'll never work. You'll never be in office again. He doesn't have Elon's support anymore. Elon's out here talking about starting another party and how bad the big, beautiful bill was.
I will turn you on to the ones I use, and you'll have to find them on eBay.
I agree with that. I don't think Trump thought he'd ever win. It was a publicity stunt, and then he did, with the help of Russia. I don't think they changed ballots, right? I don't think they changed vote counts. I think they heavily pressured and manipulated through social media a gigantic group of people, including me. I was probably manipulated by some of their stuff. That's when I supported Trump. And then the second time, I think it was all about staying out of jail. He knows the shit that he's done could land him in prison for a long time. Would someone push it that far? Maybe. Would they give him like house arrest and probation? Probably. But still, he doesn't want any of that. He's getting rid of all of that. The first time was a publicity stunt. He ended up winning because Russia pushed him and caused all this turmoil and chaos in our country. The second time, he got to run for re-election, but after he loses, he comes back. He's in trouble now, right? He's in trouble. He's going to go to prison now.
That's what you have to find because they don't make them anymore. But every time I see a pair and I've got an extra couple bucks, I buy them. I've got like another set right there for the other computer that's not hooked up right now.
So he's going to beg you for money in a second. And he just said every time he goes out and has an extra few bucks, he buys computer speakers. And he's got a spare set for a spare computer that he doesn't even use right now.
Okay, so I want to get into a couple of different things. This whole advertiser situation is starting to look a little bit shaky. It may not happen.
Oh, no. Bart, you were supposed to have an advertiser, right?
It's just, too many cooks, not enough chiefs. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm not getting straight on it. I'm hoping
that hurts me.
Find out, but I can't be for sure.
I'll keep you in my thoughts and tariffs.
I'll do that. I'll go out tonight on eBay, see if I can find a set, and I will forward it to you.
Let's start an Only Birds. You guys want to?
They're not like portable. They're not something you carry around with you.
LonelyBirdsMeat.com.
You want to set them up somewhere and have them in the right spot and have a subwoofer on the floor and have your plug that you can plug into your laptop or whatever it is you're going to use. That's kind of how you're going to want to do it. The subwoofer's about that big, about this big, very light. Doesn't weigh a lot.
Okay.
And they're all white. Remember when all the computers back in the 90s were all white? Everything was white? Yeah. They're like that. Here, let me show you.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
I don't have a second camera, but I do have a way, I think, to share with you.
There's Bart Clap Hiss.
So if you look right here in the studio, right down here, these are the speakers, right there. And I've got two sets of them here because I have two computers. So this is the left and right, and this is the left and right. So I have two sets, right here and here. So you get a volume knob for your mid-range and highs, and then you have a subwoofer on the floor that has its own volume control. You will love them. And they just don't make them anymore. All of them now, they come pre-tuned. They don't give you the opportunity to use your own ear and decide how you like your stuff to sound. And we're running 4K camera up here.
That's not true. You can get some of the most advanced fucking speakers that have ever been offered in the world. It's not like a lost art making computer speakers.
Yeah, so that's what I was looking for. Okay, here we go. Go down here.
By the way, for him to have a bunch of expensive gear, his fucking quality sucks. Like I've built mine up and bought and upgraded and blah blah blah, and he's probably still outspent me.
Right there, that's two of them. All right, back to the live shop.
Yeah, there's companies that just specialize in making equalizers. Not that you need one. You can get a digital one, right? And that probably meets most people needs. But a lot of people like hardware equalizers that literally just go in between your computer and your speakers or headphones, and you could customize the fuck out of more than you've ever been able to do before.
I'll take Lansing
for fairly cheap.
Is a great company for audio. I'll take Lansing is a great company for audio. Okay, so I missed yesterday, and I had
Narc, next time you call him, say, hey, Bert, let's talk speakers.
hoped to go live to kind of fill you guys in, but one thing about missing a day, and I literally slept all day long. I didn't watch the news. I didn't do anything. I woke up about 8:30 last night, 8:30 in the evening, and I was up till 9 o'clock this morning. I took a power nap this morning for a couple hours, and I'm back at it. So the news cycle hasn't really changed too much, other than we're going to talk a little bit about tariffs today again. And the left has gone back to its old original drawing board on the tariffs. You would think they would learn, but they said back in, was it April 2nd, I think it was, oh my gosh, this is going to create a recession. It's going to be the end of the world. And the stock market hit its highest ever yesterday. And they're still saying, oh my God, 50% tariffs on Brazil. It's going to be war. No, it's not. Brazil's going to cave because they can't afford 50% tariffs on everything they send us, which is mostly their copper.
5 hours ago, stock market, Dow falls 250 points, S&P falls 500, NASDAQ retreat from record. There you go. As Trump escalates tariff threats. Not only has he backed off, not only has he slowed them down, not only has he reduced almost all of them, but every time he even talks about them, the stock market fucking tumbles. What are you talking about, bro?
And they're going to cave and they're going to say, okay, we capitulate to your demands. Please take away the 50% tariff. That's why he does it.
That was from 4 hours ago.
You know, I mean, it's not so hard to figure out when you see him doing this. He makes these moves out in public to get a reaction. Then he controls the outcome based on his opponent's reaction. It's like being a counterpuncher, okay? When you're a counterpuncher in a fight game, and I used to be in a fight game,
I used to be in the fight game. Bert used to be in the fight game. He was a fighter. He's a counterpuncher. So Trump makes the stock market tumble so he can come back out and say, no, we're not going to do that. So it comes back up to where it was. He said, I used to be in the fight game. Listen.
Reaction. It's like being a counterpuncher, okay? When you're a counterpuncher in a fight game, and I used to be in a fight game, you're throwing punches just to get that guy to commit.
Have you ever met anybody that used to fight and they're like, I used to be in the fight game? Is that Is that common language that I've just missed out on?
how he swings a punch. You want to see how he sets up his left, how he sets up his jab. You want to see all that in real time while you're fighting him. And you can see that, okay, when he's getting ready to throw this right hand, he switches his feet. His feet switch before.
Bro, you wouldn't see nothing but blurs. Dotting them fucking eyes.
His jab. Or he'll drop his arm before he throws it. Or he'll pull his head up, his hand up here before he throws his jab. All of these things are called tells. And that's how you do it when you're fighting. When you're doing a deal with people, it's the same thing. Only it's on words and eye contact. And things that you write down. And if you're paying
Bert studied the Judy chop.
attention to your opponent, you can anticipate the second time you come at him is going to.
How Texas families can eat whatever they want.
He's a triple black belt.
Your mom? No, that's
I'm sorry, he's a triple XL black
No
belt.
idea what he's going to do. 'Cause
I
it's-
think.
So now you say
It's confusing.
it's 50%. Okay, it's not 50%. It's 60%. You see, you're looking for that. You're looking for that kind of a reaction. And that's what Trump does. Better than anybody. Better than anybody.
So we're going to cause the stock market to tumble 50%. And then I'm going to say, no. I changed my mind. So the stock market comes back to where it was. Got it.
And that's why he wrote a book called The Art of the Deal. And the people that can't beat him hate him the most.
Yeah.
The left sits and screams about everything he does. Oh, that's what we do. That's what we do. What a sissy way to fight. He just rope it. Who does that? Oh my gosh, I've never seen anybody just stand there and go like this and go like this for round after round. What an idiot. He'll never win the fight. All of a sudden, George Foreman's arm is like this. And he can't throw another punch. Bam, 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 bam. Throw it like a butterfly. Sting like a bee. It's over. It's like that. But it takes somebody smarter than you are to figure you out, usually.
Ah.
Had none of that prepared. That was all off the cuff. There are no cuffs.
Although I have no cuffs. That was all off the top of my head. I didn't prepare any of that, guys. Every bit of that was off the top of my head. Yeah, all you did was small talk, bro. Are we supposed to be impressed? Let's take IQ tests, Bert. We'll meet in the octagon later, but let's do 1-to-1 IQ tests with a proctor. I don't know if you know what that word means, but someone that watches you take the test.
So that's what I'm saying. Donald Trump is setting these people up for the big finish. And the media is going to scream and holler that this has never happened before. I don't understand how he actually got anything done. That's because you don't understand.
They'll say, I don't understand. Yeah, that's because you don't understand. I just made that up off the top of my head. That was off the top of my head, guy. I didn't write any of that down. Rope-a-dope.
The media is one of the only national, media and politicians. There's no degree required, and there's no license required, I should say. There's no body, organization that says, okay, you're qualified. If you want to be an electrician, you got to go get an electrician's license. You got to be certified to be an electrician, not to be a politician. You just got to pay your filing fees. Be 35 years old, you're not president. You might get elected. But that same person can't come in your house and fix your garbage can, your garbage disposal. He's not a plumber.
What? Do we want our politicians to all be plumbers? I could understand, like if we want our politicians to maybe take some type of course on civics. But who gives a fuck if they can't fix our garbage disposal? If they all had to take an introductory class to civics, had to pass with a certain score, had to take a refresher every 2 years, and a class on insider trading, what it is, what's legal, what's not legal, shit like that, right? Sexual harassment training, SHARP is what the military used to call it, SHARP training. They had to take that, fine. But I don't want them to take a garbage disposal class. And I wouldn't feel better if I said, that's my senator, and boy, could he come to my house and change my garbage disposal.
There's more required qualifications and certifications for the guy working on your car than the guy reading the news on TV.
There aren't any required certifications for somebody to work on your car. They take certifications to be more knowledgeable, to make more money, to learn their job. Some of them go to school. Some of them take dealer-sponsored certification courses, mostly because they get paid flat rate. And the more they know, they get paid for training a lot of times too, but the more they know, the faster they can do their job, and they still get paid the same amount. If you do a job that says it's going to take you 5 hours and you do it in 10, you only get paid for 5 hours. If you do it in 3, you still get paid for 5 hours. But there is no required certification to work on a car. I work on cars all the time. Shade tree mechanic right here. That's not the greatest argument you got there.
The guy working on your car.
The reason that the only requirement for you to be a politician is to be elected is because that's what a politician, we're electing people to represent us. If you want them to have some type of requirement, then you elect the people that have that requirement, right? If I want my politician to be a plumber, I find a plumber and vote for a plumber. If I want him to be an auto mechanic, I vote for an auto mechanic.
Car is way more qualified to work on your car than the guy reading the news is. Or at least.
Yes. Yes. Did you hear what he just said? The guy that works on your car is more qualified to work on your car than the guy on the news. And space cowboys are more qualified about celestial cattle than deep sea fishermen. Yes.
On paper, according to the rules. And that's why the media has way too much power. And people like me, podcasters all over the country and all over the world, are putting them to shame. With much better coverage.
300 followers. 13 people in 13 people in the live chat. That's why we're putting them to shame. You are putting them to shame? I'll agree. Other people are putting them to shame. Which is why they're trying to branch out so much into posting on social media. Right? It's not you. You're not in the realm. I'm not. We're not in the realm of people putting them to shame, my man. I'm closer than you are. But neither one of us are close enough to start saying that shit.
And I just got through watching one of our podcasters that inspired me to get in this business, and he did a podcast last night finally, and he didn't say anything for an entire hour. He was like, okay.
So we do have safeguards on the media, right? It would be like councils that press-related people are part of, right? Overall councils, they come together and say, hey, we shouldn't be doing this, or we're going to call out this bad activity, or blah, blah, blah. Ombudsman, right, is someone else you can complain to about the press. Audience feedback, right? If the press is doing something you don't like, they're going to lose audience members, and they're there to make a profit. And then to a lesser extent, because there is freedom of speech, but the government and the legal system eventually, right? If we're talking about like slander and shit like that, obviously, but not to mention within the organizations like editors and shit like that. I don't think Bert understands how anything works.
Okay, I was like, come on, bro, you've been on for a month. You should be knocking this out of the park. But
what?
I was like, hired me to get in this business, and he did a podcast. And I just got through watching one of our podcasters that inspired me to get in this business, and he did a podcast last night finally, and he didn't say anything for an entire hour. He was like, okay. I was like, come on,
Brad Barton.
bro, you haven't been on for a month. You should be knocking this out of the park. But
Bill Godlewski, who knows?
Show that way. But anyway, I'm not going to go any further than that.
Probably Brad.
What I'm saying about these people in the media, the only thing that is required for you to get a national job or even a local job on television is they absolutely demand that you have a degree in journalism. Have a degree in journalism. And they usually want it from one of 3 places. Columbia, far left. Harvard, far left. Sometimes they get it, from...
Wait a second. A degree in journalism, especially from somewhere like Harvard or Yale, is very hard to get and prestigious, right? I wouldn't make the argument that my mechanic is a more qualified person in general than someone with a journalism degree from Harvard. They're definitely more qualified to work on my car, right? But I don't think the mechanic would be more qualified to deliver the news to me.
A smaller college, a degree in journalism, but then they want you to go get some extra studies in on one of their far left schools because they want to make sure you're indoctrinated. There's only 4 or 5 families that run all the media in the country. And they're not going to let you have that platform. without that degree. Well, that degree isn't a certification that you are qualified. You just know how to read, and you know what the rules are, or you're supposed to know what the rules are.
Journalism degrees are usually based on skills like critical thinking, research, writing, communication, maybe even public speaking. And you'd be ready to do all the things, including editing and broadcasting and probably even storytelling, reporting, investigative journalism. You should come out with skills, or at least a basic tenet around that, and your job, right? Of course, they're more qualified for journalism than a mechanic, but a mechanic is more qualified to be a mechanic than a journalist.
And they say, well, you fulfilled a 4-year or 8-year commitment at school before we spend all this money putting you on the air with us, because we can look at your records in school, you made good grades, and you stayed out of trouble, and all of those things that help you. But the truth is, a guy could be great at that job, and they won't hire him. I got my first job in media on a television station, a local television station in Florida, and all I had was a theater background. I went to college for 2 years, and I was majoring in theater. Here comes
God damn it, narc.
the no-caller ID people already. I didn't even graduate because I got offered a job in my career field. I was in college when I got offered a part in a movie. And I'm like, well, why am I in college? I'm studying theater so that I can get parts in movies. Well, I got one. I'll take it. And I left. And then I got offered work as a stand-up comedian and worked for 3.5 years in San Francisco as a stand-up comedian.
Oh my, no fucking way. I would love, for the love of God, scour the end of the interwebs. Find me, if this is true, find me Bert's comedy set.
Again, my career field, my chosen career field. 2 years of college. I wasn't there long enough to get indoctrinated. Also, I'd already been in the Air Force, and I had already been indoctrinated by this thing.
Okay, so he wasn't in college long enough to get indoctrinated.
All behind me. I already loved that flag so much, I wasn't going to believe any of that other bullshit. All right. Nope, that's my ranting, non-scripted intro to the show. And we're 20 minutes in. Here's where I intended to start 20 minutes ago, and now...
I think Bert might secretly be this guy.
Share that rare pleasure with me now. Here's Roy J.
Very funny guy.
Well, a stranger in a black sedan, won't you hop inside my car?
Easy, Bert.
Andy Flaws, I'm a traveling man, and I will take you to the nearest star. Hey. Hi, weirdos. I used to be a schizophrenic, but we're both okay now. Wow, this place is weird, huh? Slither. I met a guy outside tonight. Slither.
Yeah, this guy's way too successful to be Bert. You're right.
On his way to the Olympic Games. I said, are you a pole vaulter? He said, no, German, but how did you know my name?
Get the joke? Are you a pole vaulter? No, I'm German, but how did you know my name is Walter? That's a German name. So he was asking, he thought he was saying, are you Polish, Walter? Get it? Amazing.
I'm just getting to it. And this is Infowars.com posted Benny look into the Epstein kill himself storyline. And we're going to delve into that pretty deeply tonight. Basically, we're going to start with the fact that the footage that they gave us that had a minute missing out of it, the video footage that they said this proves that Epstein killed himself, is complete bullshit. It's not real.
Right. Germans pronounce the W as a with a V inflection on it.
It's not even the right footage. It's not the right camera angle. The camera angle nearest his cell wasn't working. And we're going to go through this because Benny has got the actual schematic of the prison, and he marks very plainly. He did a really good job on this.
So apparently there is a documentary about Pee Wee Herman that recently came out before he died. Before he died. And it's supposed to, like, we've always heard about Pee Wee Herman was like this disgusting motherfucker, like masturbating in public or some shit. But apparently he kind of got the shitty end of the stick. I want to see the documentary. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I've just heard other people talk about it.
Marks very plainly where the camera angle we see that we got 11 hours of. And it's just ridiculous. I mean, it would be like if somebody broke into your house, okay? And you have a camera on your front door. You see everybody's got these Ring cameras now, and the cameras on their doors. You got a camera on your front door.
What's crazy is the day before he committed suicide, he came back from suicide watch because they had found him with lacerations around his neck. His cellmate at the time said, oh, he was trying to kill himself. Epstein claimed his cellmate attacked him. But either way, he was on a heightened state of watch, as he should have already been, right? How high profile do you have to be to have somebody watch you fucking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Right? This should have never happened. But then they put him in there. They don't make their rounds. He's in a cell by himself. He's not supposed to be. He's able to hang himself. They don't go do bed checks. They don't do any of that. Like, this so much stuff that just fell apart. Not saying that can't happen, but that's why people question it, right? We have like 10 fucking systems that failed for this to happen.
And all of a sudden, the night that your camera's on your front door, the camera ain't working, and somebody breaks into your house, and you tell the police, I got footage. I got 6 hours worth of footage, and it's on your back door, pointing at your back door. And you can't see nothing that happened on the front door, and that's where the guy came in at. And the police go, oh, yeah, that's all we need. Just give me that back door footage. If nobody came in the back door, they had to come in the front door. It's ridiculous. So that's what Benny's got to say here, because I think you guys will find it pretty fascinating. If you haven't seen this already, and like I said, I was so sick yesterday that I slept through the whole day. Maybe you guys already saw this. I hope I'm bringing you something you haven't seen.
Now let's look at the screenshot from the video the DOJ shared. So you can see here that the officer wouldn't have been able to see Epstein's cell door and cell block. So when they say the officers fell asleep, they said...
All right, he muted again. Listen how much... Can you guys hear all that static in his audio? Listen. You can tell when he mutes. Listen.
From the video the DOJ shared. So you can see here that the officer wouldn't have been able to see Epstein's cell door and cell block.
Hear how much cleaner it is now? I'm going to slow it down to normal speed. There's so much he prides himself in being an entertainer. Like, normally I wouldn't be this nitpicky, but goddamn, dude.
So when they say the officer...
Something you haven't seen.
Now let's look at the screenshot from the video the DOJ shared. So you can see here that the officer wouldn't have been able to see Epstein's cell door and cell block. So when they say the officers...
Just fix that shit. You can't keep talking about how you're this big performer and this, that, and the other, and all the equipment you got and still sound like ass. We get so used to it because it's constantly there, but when he mutes, you're like, God damn, dude, fix that shit.
Fell asleep. They said that for a reason. They knew that the officers that were stationed there would be able to look directly at Epstein's door. They needed an alibi because something bad happened. You immediately notice that whatever this is not the cell block that Epstein was in. Those are not cell doors. In fact, 10 minutes into the video, a person just comes out of one of those doors with a trash bin and places it in the middle of the floor. So if it's not a cell block, what is this? The space that we're looking at is a common space near the elevator's staircase. I marked it myself in the diagram below. The red dot is the position where the cameras are. The DOJ released video that was recorded. This is the opposite of the officer's station, and in no way could have seen Epstein's cell block.
Now, I'm going to stop it there. I'm up here in the corner, you guys. I'm going to stop it there with my mouse. I'm going to demonstrate this. Right here's where the camera is that we've been seeing on TV. Right here. At one point in one of the videos, they showed some person walking from here to here or something. That was Epstein being taken to his cell. Oh.
Wait a second. Those are the entrance doors that go into the area where his cell was. I don't think they ever claimed that that's just outside his cell, right? Because that camera was the one that was broken. It's the entrance that goes into his cell block, and everybody in there is locked down. They can't change cells. They can't go in and out of their cell. Once they're in the cells, they're in the cells.
Okay. This is Epstein's cell.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I saw the Wired story, but one thing in the Wired story is they want you to be extremely cautious in saying it was edited. It comes with a disclaimer. It was edited in Premiere. But that could be as simple as... the administration claimed they uploaded the raw files. Well, raw files are going to be gigantic. So they probably compressed them. That's something you would do in Premiere. And they also are... It's 2 files clipped together. So could they have edited something out? Yeah. Could they also just compress them and... put 2 clips together? Yes, also. It doesn't necessarily mean that they were edited in a nefarious way, right? It could just be they put 2 files together.
So, right here. This is where the camera is. You can't see through these walls. Why are we looking at this? This is the most obscure place you would ever want to even try to represent. That is a good vantage point of where this cat is here. And these are not open jail cells like on the Andy Griffith.
Why would we assume Biden's on the list?
Joe, the town drunk doesn't walk up to that cell right there, take the key, open it up, and let himself in. These are like dormitories. You come in right here, and there's a cell, and there's a door, there's a door, there's a door. These are doors. These are not like jail cell bars. Okay? They're doors. And Epstein's is right there, so you have to go up these steps right here and go in there to get to his cell. This camera ain't showing you nothing. All right, let's keep going.
Let alone Epstein's cell. Even the one piece of evidence that they released is a lie. They say, here's Epstein's cell door. It's not.
See that?
The way you can confirm this is the space marked on the schematic. The way you can confirm this is the space.
Hang on, let's go back. I want to show you. Okay, so look at this. We all thought that this was probably his cell, or this one, all these camera footage, or maybe even this one. You're seeing that and you're thinking to yourself,
Wired Magazine does say, yes, it was edited in Premiere Pro, and the administration should not have said, the administration should not have said raw files, because that is not what they gave us. Right? Raw files would be in the native format that they come directly off, like they just take it directly out of whatever system they have. But I'm assuming that the case has been gone so long, they don't even have the raw files anymore. They have the pertinent files, and they've already been clipped together and compressed and stored somewhere. They probably don't have the raw files anymore.
sorry about clearing my throat. I'm up here on top of Benny's head. We thought, well, this must be the cell right here, and there's nobody coming to it. No, his cell is right there, and is a set of steps. These little like, brown area, like lighter area, that's the steps that lead up, and it's only showing you about a foot of them, and the rest of them, that's at least 3 feet wide set of steps. That's
Yeah, I don't agree with that. First of all, your narrative's flawed. What if Biden was trying to protect someone else? If he's willing, if he's trying to protect himself, what if he's trying to protect someone else? And second of all, what list? We have the flight log. Do you think there's more? You think there's a list that says like, oh, Trump had sex with a 13-year-old girl 3 times on these dates?
That's where his cell is. And he goes upstairs. So it's just total BS.
We've seen his phone contacts. We've seen his contact black book, and we've seen the flight logs.
It's not. The way you can confirm this is the space marked on the schematics and the angle and the shape of the floor of the matches, the angles that we see in the doors in the video. The door is marked 46. That leads to the main entrance. This is the exit for the entire tier.
Yep.
So if we go on one of the DOJ footage, you can see that the officer station at the far end, and then you see some teeth on the side. You can see them right there. Those teeth are the staircase up to Jeffrey Epstein's cell.
That's what I was pointing out.
On the far right-hand side. Guys, is Tom ready? Is Tom set? Okay, great. Okay, we'll move very quickly here. The only thing that we can remotely see in the direction of Epstein's cell block is this silver staircase. You can go up and down the staircase without being seen by the camera.
That's right.
Anyone could have entered Epstein's cell.
He's doing a great job on this.
Even in the footage. Now this is important. Gate 46 is the only way in or out of the SHU cell block floor. Okay, got it. So this is the full entry to the floor. We have 11 hours footage throughout the night with that one missing minute. So you must prove that nobody entered or exited the floor, right? But the obvious question is, how do we know that someone wasn't there beforehand?
That's right.
How do we know someone wasn't in before the DOJ video started? By all measures, you could have stayed in Epstein's cell block. You could have actually not been seen by the camera or the guard if you're just hidden inside the utility closet or the crawl space.
That's correct.
Right there. There's Epstein's door. And there is a unlocked security closet.
Yeah, Benny Johnson's a fucking douche.
No footage of what actually happened.
Okay, I'm going to point that out. Sorry, I get my picture away so I get to that.
Yeah, but Trump just lies about shit. I haven't heard anybody in the investigation say, oh, there was a client list. I've heard Trump just lie, like he always, every time he opens his mouth, he's lying about shit. Or spreading something he saw on Twitter. Like, Trump just lies.
Right there's a broken camera. This is Epstein's cell, and this is the security closet he's talking about. With the yellow square is utility. Here's utility closet and crawl space right here. All right, and this is his cell. And in Epstein's cell, this is a cell door. That's not his. This one right here is his door, and it's off screen. So this camera here wasn't working. So our viewpoint, where we're standing right now, where we're sitting right now, is called point of view. Our POV is the doorway leading to the cell block area.
POV.
Steps. So Epstein's right here.
Bert needs donations.
We have no footage of Epstein's door. It's all a lie. And the footage that we're seeing is the entirety of the cell block. Anyone could have entered Epstein's actual tier.
And why wasn't that camera working right there?
And that's the one piece of evidence we got with zero explanation. And I cannot emphasize enough what an insult that is. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us.
Okay, now I want to point out to you that right here in this video, there's a guy. And he's the maintenance guy. And he comes up where the cameras are. But that's 75 feet away. That's 75 feet away from where... not sure why I'm not getting... Yeah, there we go. 75 feet away from where Epstein's actual cell was. So why are they even putting that footage out? Okay? That's the question I have. I'm going to go back right here real quick. See if I can find you some examples as to why they'd be doing this. Why would they put this out?
There was like 150 people named in some unsealed court documents. That was around the Ghislaine Maxwell case. 150, 170, somewhere around there. Those are all court records. You can see those. Those have been out for a while. Some more records were re-released under the Biden administration. I've never heard anybody credible say that there's this client list that he kept, or they recovered a client list. I would be more concerned that, I guess I think it would be more valid that potentially a lot of people say that Epstein had, I don't think the FBI has ever said this, but a lot of people that knew him said he had cameras all over his places, right? That there would be videotapes of people and meetings with people and hours and hours and hours and hours of footage and maybe identifiable people.
Mr. McDowell, thanks for coming in. Why would they be putting this out and telling us that Epstein didn't do anything? I told you guys before this.
90% of people with tingling or numbness in their hands and feet are ignoring the warning signs of dying nerves.
So in the court documents, here's some names that were in the court documents. Ghislaine Maxwell, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, David Copperfield, John Connolly, Alan Dershowitz, Leonardo DiCaprio, Al Gore, Stephen Hawking, Michael Jackson, Marvin Minsky, Kevin Spacey, George Lucas, Jean-Luc Brunel, Kate Blanchett, Naomi Campbell, Sharon Churcher, Bruce Willis, Bill Richardson, Cameron Diaz, Glenn Dubin, Noam Chomsky, Tom Pritzker, Chris Tucker, Sarah Ferguson, RFK Jr., a lot of these other ones you guys might recognize, but I don't really. Yeah, 150 high-profile names came out in the court cases. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and U.S. First Lady Hillary Clinton, renowned theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking, Hollywood star Leonardo DiCaprio are among over 100 high-profile people named in the court documents linked to Jeffrey Epstein, a U.S. financier and notorious sex offender. The list of around 150 people also included names of Epstein's associates in a lawsuit brought against his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, in 2015, and the first list was published on Wednesday under the order of a New York judge. The second list of court documents linked to Epstein was released on Thursday evening that included names of people already made public, while the third list was released Friday. Some individuals have objected to this disclosure, but it's more like people that he may have ran around with, that may have flown on the plane, that he had contact information for. It doesn't actually say that they were like fucking kids. You know what I mean?
With them so that they'll expose themselves so he can go get them. Or the Jewish contingent here is we are being run by the Jews.
What? What just happened?
Find you some examples as to why they'd be doing this.
I think there could potentially be a CIA or even more so a Mossad link to Jeffrey Epstein. I know that's probably, I understand that's probably like conspiracy out there and shit, but I know it happens, right? Both those groups get world leaders in compromising positions, then use it against them. 100%. I think that Putin has shit on Trump. 100%.
Why would they put this out? There's a Mr. McDowell. Thanks for coming in. Why would they be putting this out and telling us that Epstein didn't do anything? I told you guys before, there's one of two things. Either Trump's playing a long game with them so that they'll expose themselves so he can go get them, or the Jewish.
Those names were listed as Epstein's contacts from flight logs, his phone, and a black, not like a Rolodex, but like you would just keep phone numbers in, like a notebook you'd keep phone numbers in, like a contact list, I guess.
Contingent here is we are being run by the Jews. I mean, that's what I'm hearing every day, all day long.
What?
Do the Jews really run everything? Well, the more you look into it, the more it looks like they do.
Oh my God.
Benjamin Netanyahu was.
Is he turning? Is he making the turn? Is Bert finally making the turn? He used to make fun of the Q-tards for saying stuff about the Jews like this, but he's making the turn. He's making the leap. I've watched 15 YouTube videos, and every one of them said the Jews run everything.
In the White House on Monday, and they released that memo that was unsigned that says Epstein killed himself, case closed. Right before Netanyahu shows up for a luncheon at the White House, where he tells the president, "I've nominated you for the Nobel Peace Prize." Looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. Let's take a look at what it is the Jewish people, the Jewish state, the Jew control.
I love the clip of Trump being asked by Fox News, will you release the JFK files? Yes. Will you release the Martin Luther King files? Yes. Will you release the Epstein files? Yeah, I probably would. Well, some of that stuff could be fake and, ruin a lot of people's lives if it's fake, so we'll just have to see. Why were you so definitive on everything else? JFK assassination? Yes. MLK assassination? Yes. Epstein? Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe less so. I'm kind of, could ruin somebody's life. Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh, seems to think about us.
You say the FBI. The most respected newspaper in Israel is the Jerusalem Post. The headline reads, Yosef, Gentiles exist.
His source is a Facebook reel. This relates back to a 2010 sermon given by Rabbi Yosef. It says Yosef right there. See that? The spiritual leader of Israel's Shah party reportedly said, Goyim, which would be Gentiles, non-Jewish people, were born only to serve us. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. Why are Gentiles needed? They will work, they will plow, they will reap. We will sit like an Effendi and eat. The ADL came out and immediately condemned these statements, saying that it was hateful rhetoric, divisive. It contributes to an atmosphere of hatred and global trend of intolerance, blah, blah, blah. But who cares? We have hateful pastors that say shit all the time. Have you seen any Christian churches lately?
Is only to serve Jews. Rabbi Yosef is the former Sephardic chief rabbi of Israel and the foremost rabbinical authority in Israel. Quote, the sole purpose of non-Jews is to serve Jews. Goyim were born only to serve us. They have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. He goes on to compare you to a donkey. Quote, imagine that one's donkey would die. They'd lose their money. This is his servant. That's why he gets a long life, to work well for this Jew. Finally, he says, why are Gentiles needed? They will work, they will plow, they will sow, they will reap. We will sit like an Effendi and eat. That is why Gentiles were created.
Now, I know that that's just the opinion of one rabbi. But how much influence do the
10 years after he was the chief rabbi of Israel, by the way,
Jews actually have over our government currently? Well, did you know this?
Your mRNA. Wouldn't it be crazy if Cash Patel's girlfriend was an Israeli intelligence officer? Yes, meet Alexis Wilkins. She is the CEO of an organization called PragerU. No, it's not a university. It's just like a lobbying group that promotes American values. Yeah, get right. But here, let's do the background here. She was born in Los Angeles, but moved to Israel at a very young age. Miss Marissa did. I guess her original name was Marissa Straight. But yeah, she did her primary education in Israel and then served in military intelligence Unit 820 of the IDF.
That's okay.
For those of you unaware, Unit 8200 is the most advanced global cyber team probably in the.
By the way, this news update's for real. Is a fucking, he'll spread any fucking goddamn conspiracy. He's the one that used to do those videos that kind of went viral. He'd say, did you hear the news? And then it would be him playing a different character, and they would list off a bunch of crazy stuff that was in the news that people missed. And then the craziest story at the end, he'd say, no, it's actually this, and that would be the craziest story. But it would be like 5 conspiracy news stories, just headlines, not explaining anything, just crazy headlines. And he went viral doing that. PragerU is a shitty fucking group of people who are completely focused on indoctrinating everybody that watches their videos to crazy conservatism. And they'll just deny and lie, like party flip, shit like that, racism, the Civil War, everything. They'll lie about everything. But I will say this. Mossad has done this before. Mossad has baited people before with vagine. It happens. Set up girlfriends, long-term people. I'm not saying that Cash Patel's girlfriend is that, but they've done this before, 100%.
The world. So, no big deal. Yeah, so I'm sure she really does love Cash for who he is, and she's definitely not his handler.
Yeah, he's like the Jewish Greg Locke. You're right.
How dare you even suggest such a thing? Wouldn't it be crazy if Cash Patel's girlfriend...
But that's kind of a coinky-dink, don't you think? Well, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there at all. Do you know how many of Donald Trump's children are married to Jews? Do you know how many people in his cabinet are Jewish or married to someone Jewish? It's easier to say the ones that aren't, quite honestly. That's how much it means. Let me see if I can get this. I gotta skip this ad. We'll get back in here. I want you to, this is a couple minutes long. We probably won't get into the whole thing, but however, I think it's pretty important to be aware of this. So get comfortable. This is pretty important stuff.
Jewish family and owning or ultra-wealthy financier. When you hear the words Jewish family and owning or ultra-wealthy financiers, what comes to your mind? The Rothschilds, right? Those keywords tie in perfectly with the legendary Ashkenazi Jew family. But when you add America to this description, it becomes a bit complicated. Because while the Rothschilds have had a lot of influence on the world at large, they were mainly situated in Europe at the peak of their power. So in today's video, not only will I be telling you about another Ashkenazi Jew ultra-wealthy family that owns the finance space in America, but I'll also be telling you about other Jewish families in America that have managed to exert so much...
Mas. Money, ideology, coercion or compromise, ego. Money, ideology, coercion, ego. Coercion includes compromise. Like talking to somebody out. That's a mas. That is an acronym that they use in intelligence for how to flip someone, how to get somebody working for you, even if they don't know they're working for you.
Influence over the lives of you and I over several generations. Goldman Sachs family. In 19th century Bavaria, amidst the lush landscapes and quaint villages, a story of ambition, friendship, and financial prowess took shape. It all began with a man named Marcus Goldman, whose journey ultimately led...
Damn, he went so far. But he gets into a religious argument in just a second, but it's funny.
Young Marcus got working, but they dreamed of something more. Treacherous journey to America, the land of opportunity. Upon his arrival in America, Marcus Goldman's name was transformed into its Americanized version. He started as a peddler, navigating the bustling streets with a horse-drawn cart. It was a humble beginning for a man with grand aspirations, but he was determined to carve out his own path. In Philadelphia, Marcus Goldman's life took an unexpected turn. Fate led him to rent a room in a boarding house, the very room once occupied by his old friend, Joseph Sachs. This reunion marked the beginning of a lifelong partnership. In 1869, Marcus Goldman set his sights on New York City, the epicenter of American finance. On Pine Street in Lower Manhattan, he founded Marcus Goldman & Company as a broker specializing in IOUs. His tenacity was soon evident as he handled transactions worth millions annually. The turning point came in 1882 when Marcus invited his son-in-law Samuel Sachs to join him in the business. With this move, the firm's name changed to M. Goldman & Sachs. The family's combined efforts ignited a financial boom, handling tens of millions in transactions annually and amassing significant capital. For nearly half a century, the Goldman Sachs & Company growth was exponential, culminating in Sachs. The second helped transform Goldman, pioneering...
I don't want you guys believing this shit, right? This is obviously a propaganda piece.
Concept of using a company's earnings.
They say that they run the world, but then it talks about how poor they were when they started out. Well, that doesn't make much sense, right? Why didn't they just start out semi-wealthy and then grow that into, they had to start out dirt poor, sharing a room and could barely afford to get here and drove a horse-drawn cart.
Potential to attract rich and FWs guided by the principal Central American narrative. Goldman Sachs was at the forefront of financial innovation.
It's not that I don't believe they didn't do fucked up shit to get where they are. Obviously they did. It's kind of hard to find ethical billionaires, right? But I don't think it's a Jewish tie. They run the world and they were put in these places specifically to run the world kind of deal.
Goldman Sachs the early 1900s saw Goldman Sachs make bold moves into the world of initial public offerings. It continued to lead various high-operational world. It played a pivotal role in various mergers and acquisitions, picked into changing markets and maintaining its commitment to excellence. In the early 2000s, Goldman Sachs...
Plus, we're talking about some of the times where some of the biggest booms that the country's ever had. Right place, right time kind of deal. And how many Jewish people tried the exact same thing and you'll never know their name because they failed.
The dot-com bubble managing to weather the storm while others faltered. The firm played pivotal roles in advising technology companies, including Microsoft and Yahoo. This not only generated substantial revenue, Goldman Sachs' involvement in technology is far-reaching. Owning iconic properties like Rockefeller Center showcases the family's foray into real estate. These investments not only serve as valuable assets, but also underscore their financial clout. Such high-profile properties have become synonymous with the Goldman Sachs name and reflect their significant...
I do know that a lot of the groups within the Jewish community are real big about, I guess, promoting from within, hiring people that believe like them, that look like them, that are near them or in their communities. They will bring up a whole community. Everybody in the community will work for the same guy who has a really good business and he'll help them start their own business and blah, 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 or whatever. They're very community oriented, but nobody's stopping anybody else. You and your buddies in your trailer park could do the same thing, right? A lot of them treat it more like bringing a community up while still making money rather than fighting for themselves and fuck my neighbor. I don't like him anyways. So when you get into places where like these like areas and apartment complexes where like they own almost all that, yeah, of course they hire people from within there and try to bring them up and try to do better in the community and members of their church and bring them along and build them up as well. But no one's stopping anybody else from doing that either.
Presence in the real estate market. In the mid-2010s, Goldman Sachs ventured into consumer finance with the launch of GS Bank and Marcus by Goldman Sachs. This move signaled a shift from catering solely to institutional investors and corporations to address the financial needs of everyday consumers. By offering personal loans and savings accounts, they diversified their portfolio and tapped into a broader client base. Other than their comprehensive investment banking, Goldman Sachs acts as private transactions product.
But I wanted you to help
securities. With fingers in many financial
here we are.
Goldman Sachs has played an integral role in shaping America's economic landscape. They've been involved.
Now, this goes on for 30 more minutes, which we're not going to stay and look at it, but I wanted you to see the influence of just Goldman Sachs. Let's just start there, and how much of the country that they run. Now, additionally,
they'll also attribute a bunch of Jewish stuff to people that are technically Jewish, but not like practicing right. They're Jewish because their family was Jewish, and they go to church like once or twice a year, but they're not practicing the religion.
I want to look at this,
and some people that aren't even Jewish at all, they'll just call them Jewish.
And I'm gonna see if I gotta get this commercial to play out before I can start it. I don't want you to have sex with the commercial. If you're not one of my advertisers, then we're not gonna make you watch it.
The United States was one of the first countries in the history of the world where Jews received equal rights. George Washington embraced Jews as citizens, and over the next centuries, prominent Jews earned a place in every field of American success. Yet Jews in America also faced brutal sweatshops, pressure to assimilate, even united. When he tried to push Germany and Poland crossed the aggregation well everywhere. In 1862, General Ulysses S. Grant expelled all Jews from his war zone on flimsy accusations of war profiteering, despite the fact that
General Grant?
In 1862, General Ulysses S. Grant...
The Jews are a class violating every regulation of trade established by the Treasury Department, also department orders, and hereby expelled from the department within 20 hours from the receipt of this order by post commanders. They will see that all this class of people are furnished with passes and required to leave, and anyone returning after such notification will be arrested and held in confinement until an opportunity occurs of sending them out as prisoners unless furnished with permits from these headquarters. No passes will be given these people to visit headquarters for the purpose of making personal appearances or trade permits by the order of Major General Grant.
Expelled all Jews from his war zone on flimsy accusations of war profiteering, despite the fact that Grant's own father worked with Jewish businessmen. Luckily, Lincoln interceded, saying he did not like to hear a class or nationality condemned on account of a few sinners. Grant would later disavow the order and become the first president to attend the dedication of a synagogue. Jewish communities in America flourished in the mid-1800s. In New York alone, the Jewish population skyrocketed from 6,008, and Bloomingdale Brothers created...
There is a movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's German with English subtitles. You guys need to go watch it. It's called The Wave, or Die Well. D-I-E-W-E-L-L-E. W-E-L-L-E. Die Well, which translates to The Wave. It's German. It's a German film with English subtitles. You can find it with English subtitles unless you speak German. And it goes to show how easy it is to put together a movement that suddenly becomes authoritarian. Like you don't know you're moving into an authoritarian movement that condemns another group of people until it's like too late. It moves in so slowly. I'll read you the synopsis. It's a German socio-political thriller, film directed by Dennis Gansel and starring Jürgen Vogel, Frederick Law, Jennifer Ulrich, and Max Rimeltz in the leads. It is based on Ron Jones' social experiment, The Third Wave, and Todd Strasser's novel, The Wave. The film was produced by Christian Becker for Rat Pack Film Production. The movie was successful in German cinemas, and 2.3 million people watched it for the first 10 weeks after its release. In a film, a history teacher starts an experiment in manipulation of the masses while trying to teach his class about autocracy. The students unwittingly start embracing fascism. It's a good movie. You should go watch it. There has been a wave. So the right's doing it. The right is being very anti-Semitic because it's the Jews, they control the world. Right? Epstein and Mossad and Trump and 9/11 and the dancing Israelis and all that shit, right? Conspiracy. And then people on the further left are doing it because they blame Jews in general for what's going on in Palestine. Now, what's going on in Palestine is horrible, right? It's genocide. I'm not going to downplay it. That's Israeli governments, okay? That's Israeli governments. We should be stepping in. We should be doing more, but Trump wants to bend the knee to them as well. But it's popping up on both sides right now. We're actually at a very critical moment where we could actually have a tipping point, especially if something came out right now about like, you know, let's say 200 fucking Israeli-born, or let's say U.S.-born Jewish people working for Mossad are suddenly found out. They're like all in our government in different places, and they bring them out in handcuffs and shackles. There's photos going off, and we already have this sentiment about Palestine. We already have this sentiment about conspiracy theories. You could see it very quickly turning to, like, you turn on the news tomorrow and people are lashing out at like Jewish businesses and places where Jewish people live, like throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails and beating the shit out of people they see on the street. Like, it could do like that. I'm telling you, we're on a tinderbox, and it's dry as fuck right now. All we need is a spark, especially with the Epstein list, Trump at the helm, all the people around Trump and what they do, the stuff going on with Iran and Israel and Palestine. Like, we're on a tinderbox. If tomorrow news broke that the Israeli government did something to the U.S. government and it had some type of hindrance against us or spying on us or fucked us over some way, God forbid, they accidentally hit a ship or something like that, or shot down an aircraft, or I could see waking up the next day and see violence in the streets against Jewish people. The sentiment is there already. There are people that are fucking pissed off and they want somebody to blame. Donald Trump told them it was all the immigrants, and now they're figuring out maybe it's not the immigrants, maybe it's the wealthy, but we don't want you looking at the wealthy and powerful. We'll give you somebody else. How about the Jews?
Massively successful department stores. While these men built a vision of Jewish success, a massive influx of poor Jewish immigrants was just arising. In 1881, the assassination of Tsar Alexander II precipitated hundreds of violent anti-Semitic pogroms and the expulsion of Jews from Russian villages. This persecution forced...
And what I don't think he's seeing right here is he's trying to set this up like, oh, well, you see, the Jews don't get along in any country they've been in. No, that's not what you're supposed to take away from this. What you're supposed to take away from this is that this sentiment can easily be put in front of you. You can absorb it. You can get hateful. You can get violent. You can absorb this and believe that they're causing all your problems, and then something like this happens. The anti-Semitic people like to say, oh, they get thrown out of every country they've been in, and blah blah. Nobody wants them there because they do this everywhere. And now they're doing it in America. Not really, right? They do have people chase them around and try to sow these conspiracies and run them off all the time. But that's because they're persecuted and how susceptible you are to that when it's put in front of you.
More than 2.5 million Russian Jews to flee to America. In the United States, Jews became the heart of the textile industry and the political movements protesting it. The sweatshops that covered the East Village and other Jewish neighborhoods were brutal and exhausting places where dry fabric could go up like a tinderbox, as in the famous Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire that burned 146 workers to death. Brutal sweatshops and squalid tenements forced Jews to reckon with the wide chasm between their lives and the American dream, and many of them decided to take action. Emma Goldman inspired Yiddish-speaking workers to strike, while Abraham Kahan, editor of the Jewish Daily Forward, became a beacon for the working class struggle. While Jews were pillars of socialist and anarchist movements in New York and across the country, many also...
I knew that somebody says Trump just gave ICE to go ahead to use whatever force they needed to protect themselves. I knew that farm stuff wasn't going to go over well. But goddamn, how would you react if a bunch of masked men show up and start dragging fucking kids and parents apart from each other? Like, I know I got PTSD and I flip out over much smaller shit. I would have flipped the fuck out. I would have probably been in a fight, right? But I don't think you can just keep expecting people to stand and watch. I'm not condoning violence. I'm not saying you should commit violence. I'm not saying any of that. But how much can you watch before you expect somebody to say, hey, what the fuck is going on here? I even brought a goddamn Black Hawk in there. Like, it was crazy.
Oscar Strauss became the first Jewish cabinet member in 1906, and Louis Brandeis was appointed the first Jewish Supreme Court justice a decade later, becoming the first justice to champion freedom of speech and the right to privacy. While Jews influenced the politics and economics of America, America also influenced...
Trump said he had given the agents total authorization, whatever that means, to protect themselves after clashes with protesters during an enforcement operation at a California cannabis farm. Trump was traveling to Washington from Texas, where he toured the region where devastating floods have left at least 120 people dead, and he penned a lengthy post on Truth Social about the violence against U.S. immigration and custom enforcement, or ICE agents. I'm on my way back from Texas and watched in disbelief as thugs, in all capitals. Oh, we could just go read it. Hold on, it's over here. Right. Instead of taking a clip from it. I'm on my way back from Texas and watched in disbelief as thugs were violently throwing rocks and bricks at ICE officers while they were moving down a road at their cars, in their car and or official vehicle. Tremendous damage was done to these brand new vehicles. I know for a fact that these officers are having a hard time with allowing this to happen, in that it shows such total disrespect for law and order. Therefore, I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and Border Czar Tom Homan to instruct ICE, Homeland Security, and any other law enforcement officer who is on the receiving end of thrown rocks, bricks, or any other form of assault to stop their car and arrest these slime balls, using whatever means is necessary to do so. I'm giving total authorization for ICE to protect itself, just like they protect the public. I never want to see a car carrying a law enforcement officer attacked again. Authorization immediately granted for arrest and incarceration. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, what does this really mean? They already could have stopped, right? They're outnumbered. They're just trying to get out of there. They know there's a crowd forming. They're pissed off at them. So what does this really say to them? They already had this authorization. If someone throws a brick at anybody's car, they could be arrested, or a rock or whatever, right? You'd be arrested, especially if they're driving. What this really says is the first person that does it and gets out and gets in a gunfight, we kind of expect it to happen, right? The first time this happens, somebody gets hit with a rock and 14 fucking ICE agents mag dump. We kind of expect that to happen. He's ramping it up. They already have total authorization to arrest people that are throwing rocks. There is no law in the books that says ICE just has to leave when people get mad, and he's removing that. They already have this, okay? So all this is to up the ante a little bit, to throw some more tinder in the tinder box, and get ready for it. He's trying desperately to get all the attention away from the Epstein list. He's fucking dying with the Epstein list. And the video is bad, right? They're coming out, they're making a right-hand turn, and some guy's just fucking bouncing rocks off the fucking cars, busting windows and shit. It is bad.
What it meant to be Jewish. Although the number of Orthodox Jews in America today make
right, the okay to escalate. You're right.
Growing rapidly thanks to demographic shifts, Jews who immigrated in the 19th century tended to be more secular. In fact, observant Jews often described America as the...
Imagine if I said that I saw a video of a cop in a fist fight with a suspect that was trying to flee, right? The suspect was trying to flee, a cop chased him down, and they started throwing punches at each other. And then I said, okay, from now on, I just saw this video. I'm fucking pissed off. From now on, the cops have total authorization to do whatever is necessary as soon as somebody throws a punch at them. Incarcerate them, pick them up. I didn't say shoot them, right? I didn't say shoot them. But they already had that authority. I'm not giving them nothing new. They already have an authority to arrest somebody that assaults them or assaults you. Instead, I'm giving them the wink and the nod that, hey, it's okay when this escalates a little bit more. I don't want it looking like we're running away and they're driving us away. That's bad press for me. I want good press, even if that means you got to go in there and arrest them and escalate and potentially shoot them or whatever it takes. Nothing's off the table.
Treifa Medina, the unkosher land. While many immigrant Jews did abandon their religion, others built the American Reform Movement, which redefined Judaism by declaring that some traditional aspects, such as kashrut, were no longer binding. Services were often predominantly at a meeting in Pittsburgh, the Theological Seminary Association, in order to preserve the knowledge law. For example, in the 1950s, this distinct understanding of what it meant to be Jewish in America. No Jews fled to America to escape the suspicion and hatred they faced in Europe. Anti-Semitism proved hard to evade. Jews were often barred from clubbing this big from another man. When the governor recognized Frank's clear innocence and commuted his sentence, a mob 16-year-old girl Jewish enrollment. In 1913,
this video is actually doing the opposite of what he thinks. This is they're going to talk about how the ADL was formed. This guy owns a pencil factory, was accused of raping some girl or whatever. This is talking about, again, but he's still going to use it for his benefit.
Deadly after a man named Leo Frank was falsely convicted of murdering a 13-year-old girl.
This is how the ADL was formed. This guy owned like a pencil factory, and that 13-year-old girl was like raped and murdered, and they accused him, and there was like a mob that was just going to kill him. And the ADL come together and defended him, and they actually found out it was somebody else, like the janitor or something.
Despite an airtight alibi and a confession from another man. When the governor...
And he had an alibi, and someone else confessed to the murder. He had an alibi, time and place for the murder, and someone else confessed to it, and they still wanted this guy to hang for it.
Frank's clear innocence and commuted his sentence. A mob stormed the jail, kidnapped Frank, and lynched him from a tree. Bigots also sought to keep Jews out of the country entirely. Nativists pushed the Johnson-Reed Act through Congress in 1924, which severely constricted Ray Adams, the grandson of the ghetto, snarling a weird Yiddish. The Johnson-Reed Act remained in place for 40 years and turned out the furtive Jacob or Isaac still...
Not a Polish Jew, fresh from Warsaw or Krakow, not a furtive Yakub or Yesek, still reeking of the ghetto, snarling a weird Yiddish to the officers of the customs, but had a keener instinct and intenser energy and a freer hand than he, America of Americans, with heaven knew how many Puritans and patriots behind him, and an education that had cost a civil war.
Still reeking of the ghetto, snarling a weird Yiddish. The Johnson-Reed Act remained in place for 40 years and turned the rush of Jewish immigrants into a trickle. Yet many Jews who were already in the country, or who made it through the barriers, managed to thrive. They continued to suffer anti-Semitism, particularly...
I think that people that are still on the fence, this sounds horrible. You guys have heard about like the shot heard around the world, right? Or how Pearl Harbor pulled us into World War II or stuff like that, or even Franz Ferdinand in World War I, right? I feel like the people that are still on the fence, that know it's bad, but they're not out in the streets, right? That speak up slightly, but don't totally condemn. I feel like when they fire on U.S. citizens, that's going to be bad, and a lot of people are going to come out opposed to that, obviously.
With the rise of the American Fascist Party in the 1930s, but they managed to knit their communities inextricably into the American quilt. The Jews made up most of the founders of Hollywood studios and wrote films like Citizen Kane and Sunset Boulevard. They pushed to eliminate the quota systems and collaborated with icons like Martin Luther King to fight for civil rights. They built illustrious careers across the arts, medicine, science, music, and law, pushing the fields forward into new possibilities. While America is far from perfect.
Oh my God, somebody has commented on my video a ton of times. It was I'm sorry. A Capone was 118 on Tuesday, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,400 square feet, and bills are 400, 600 summer. Damn. And where'd you say you lived? I figured that out with my unit. Sorry, JS Construction. You're not in the live chat. You're in the comments, and I just saw all your comments.
It has become the second largest homeland for Jews in their long history. It's home to around 7.5 million Jews, according to the Pew Research Center, igniting a golden age that rivals even the great Jewish communities of the past.
Yeah, I already talked about that, Mariah, earlier in the show. I like the guy. I think he's a good guy, but he says he's got a defense. Him and his lawyer are talking about his defense, that there's extenuating circumstances that people aren't talking about yet. But yeah, I already talked about the police chief.
The key point here is that the Jewish people assimilated to American lifestyle so that they could thrive financially. That's smart business. It also explains how they are so woven into everything we do.
I think this is, you'll very, 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 very rarely see a very wealthy white person blaming Jews or really anybody else, right? But people that are struggling, that are poor, that especially when they don't want to blame their government or their politician because they love him so much, they're looking for someone to blame. It could be the Jews or the Mexicans taking our. Who the fuck are who the fuck's going to go pick strawberries in a field and be like, thank God I got my job back from that Mexican? It is the poor, it is the downtrodden, it is the people that feel like they should be of higher status but are not. And I'm not saying they don't work hard or they're lazy or something. A lot of people work their fucking ass off and just can't get ahead. Hell, I work my ass off most of the time and can't get ahead. Every time we do get ahead, we get fucked like the hurricane. For the first time in a while, we were stacking money in savings and shit. Now we've blown through it all just trying to survive post-hurricane. Those people are the people that are looking for someone else to blame. Usually, it's billionaires in the government. Almost always, it's billionaires in the government, right? Doing some fucked up shit and hurting the least of us. The poorest. The starving. The children. But they are always busy saying, no, 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 it's not us. It's the brown people. It's the Jewish people. It's the Chinese people. It's whatever. Even at Sukkot caught a stray there.
And I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just showing you why it would be to the advantage of our government right now to get along with the Jews, because they run everything.
Oh.
If the Jewish state asked Donald Trump, we need you to make this Epstein thing go away, because he worked for us. He was part of our intelligence. I think Epstein's job was to get dirt on everybody so that the Jewish state could blackmail or control.
Yeah, but the Chinese eat the Chinese chicken.
Anything and everything that affected
Sukkot.
That it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that that's what they would do if they had that opportunity. And it does look like that the Jewish fingerprints are all over this whole thing.
Hold on. God damn it. Stupid ad.
Drinking warm water.
2 ads, really?
Fixes tooth and gum problems overnight.
And I can't just ignore that. I've never been the one that hollers the Jews are bad and all that stuff. I have been hollering that Islam is bad.
How Gen X are getting their teenage bodies back.
So this
What the fuck?
And this is my grandma. I recently posted a picture of the 3 of us and people were shocked.
Because Islam is not trying to assimilate. Islam is not trying to go along and get along. They're trying to take us over. And they want to eliminate the Jews, which make up about 10% of our population, and they want to eliminate us. I want you to check out this clip. Netanyahu said in a book in the 1990s that if we don't see the threat of militant Islam, then pretty soon militant Islam will bring down the World Trade Center.
The West really doesn't understand militant Islam. So I wrote a book in 1995, and I said that if the West doesn't wake up to the suicidal nature of militant Islam, the next thing you'll see is the militant Islam is bringing down the World Trade Center.
Now listen to what he just said. He said that in 1990, he warned everybody that Islam was going to take down the World Trade Center. Osama bin Laden worked for the CIA and for Mossad. That's a proven fact. They were supplying him with...
That's a proven fact. Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. But if you have a drumstick at Zuko, then your brain will stop ticking. You see what we're saying? Watching X-Files with no lights on.
Enough power to control the people around him. It was... Epstein's the same way. And so was the assassination of John...
Atsuko, it's been 1 week since you looked at me. Remember, you threw your arms in the air and said, "You're crazy." You don't remember that? And then that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days since you tackled me. I've still got that rug burn on both my knees. And that's, if you take 5 minus 2, that'd be 3 days since the afternoon. You realized it's not my fault. Not a moment too soon. You know?
Kennedy, it's got Jewish fingerprints all over it. How did he know that in 2001 that Islam was going to attack the World Trade Center? When in 1990, he said it. In 93, it happened. The first attack happened in 93. They tried to blow up from basement up. They put
yeah, I'm the 1776 guy.
They drove a bomb down there. The Blind Sheik, I think, was the guy's name. That they...
You don't know what I'm saying. Oh my God. Guys, you all in chat know what I'm saying, right? I'm trying hard not to smile, but I feel bad. How come I can't help it? I think you're funny when you're mad. You know me, honestly, I'm the kind of guy that laughs at a funeral. And if you can't understand what I mean, you soon will.
After that, Alex Jones predicted that they were going to fly airplanes into the World Trade Center. Everybody says, well, he must be CIA. No, he watches the news every day. And he saw that Netanyahu had predicted that. He saw what happened in 93. Cran says I need to read the Bible before I put this out, read Revelations before you deceive me. I'm not deceiving anybody, Cran. I know you like to criticize me anytime I talk about anything considered...
I have the tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt.
It's biblical, okay? I'm not a preacher. I'm sharing with you information that I heard. I'm not putting out anything. Someone else put it out. I'm showing you, these are the freaking facts. Just because the Bible says what? Don't talk bad about the Jews? I'm beginning to think Cran 45 doesn't like the show very much.
Uh-oh. This is his big argument. Listen.
To be CIA, no. That they blamed it on. After that...
I've been reading lyrics to a song to you the entire time, Atsuko. And Mariah, you know the fucking song. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, threw your arms in the air and said you're crazy. 5 days since you tackled me. I've still got the rug burn on both my knees. How can I help it when I think you're funny when you're mad? Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy that laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean. We soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. I can I can forgive Chinese Itsuko. What the fuck is wrong with you, Mariah?
Alex Jones predicted that they were going to fly airplanes into the World Trade Center.
All right, listen. He gets into an argument with his chat. This is where we're supposed to be.
Everybody says, well, he must be CIA. No, he watches the news every day. And he saw that Netanyahu had predicted that.
I got a small dick, but wait till it get hard. She gonna be like, damn, shit, my God.
Please stop torturing the girl with the mid-tempo rock songs from the mid-90s. Thank you very much for the support. Finally, someone sends in some money here, okay? Round of applause, please. Thank you very much. Somebody wants to support the show and support me torturing Itsuko. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll put your name on a list or something. I'll have you dance at my next wedding. Thank you very much.
I saw what happened in 93. Cran says I need to read the Bible before I put this out. Read Revelations before you deceive me. I'm not deceiving.
Cran says I need to read the Bible before I put this out. Read Revelations. There is no Revelations. There is Revelation. John, the Revelator, the Revelation, singular, of John.
He watches the news every day. And he saw that Netanyahu had predicted that. He saw what happened in 93.
Support the stream at Colbert.fund while we watch Bert fight with his chat and not get any money.
Cran says I need to read the Bible before I put this out. Read Revelations before you deceive me. I'm not deceiving anybody, Cran. I know you like to criticize me anytime I talk about anything that's biblical. Okay?
Biblically.
I'm not a preacher. I'm sharing with you information that I heard. I'm not putting out anything. Someone else put it out. I'm showing you these are the freaking facts.
I don't know how to say, I know how to say the word autumn, and I know what your name means. It means like of that time having to do with that, right? Is it autumnal? Autumnal? That's why I always say autumn.
Autumnal.
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 Autumnal. Okay. I've never said it before. It means like having the characteristics of autumn. So your name would be like the pavement in autumn. But I had never, I think I'd read the word, but I've never said the word. Autumnal.
Just because the Bible says what? Don't talk bad about the Jews?
What? The Bible says that? Not my Lee Greenwood Trump edition, does it?
Just resubscribed for 33 months. Hey Bert, middle finger emoji, smiley face emoji.
Middle finger emoji and smiley face emoji? Hey Bert, middle finger emoji, smile face emoji. Perfect. Thank you very much for that resubscription. I appreciate it.
I'm beginning to think Cran 45 doesn't like this show very much.
Why? Because he disagrees with you? Jesus Christ.
I'm not lying. And it doesn't matter if Judah were the Jews. It's not lies. What the hell is wrong with you? The people...
He finally has someone in his chat that's not talking about food, that's engaging with the show. And what does he do? Lashes out.
Who live in Israel, who called themselves Jews, are the people I'm talking about. Whether they're Ashkenazi Jews or what.
Do you guys like the smell of like really, really hot pavement when the rain first hits it?
Whether they're blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jews. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the nation. Then I keep saying this. The Jewish nation, the country with Netanyahu running it. That's who we have to concern ourselves with.
Right.
Okay.
And he said that he can understand that if Israel said, don't put out the list, and Trump said, yes, sir, Daddy Netanyahu. Yes, sir.
Jesus Christ will figure out all the rest of it. We have to figure out what's happening on our streets today. And that's all I'm trying to do is share with you the shit that is out there.
Pavement's like indie rock, right?
If that's offensive to you, Cran, go watch Brad Barton. See what you learned by watching his show last night. heat.
Nice prediction there. Just a bit of...
Damn. Go back to your Brad Barton show. Cran the man. Cran boobs.
Psychic, was he? You know, like, it's got Israeli fingerprints all over it.
It's so funny that he's begging people to participate in his live chat and not talk about food, of course. That's not allowed. But then the first person that engages with him, he's like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. What do you mean you don't agree with me? Out of here.
And with any of that sort of stuff, you just got to say, you know, Q bono, who benefits? And the only people who benefited from 9/11 is Israel, and even Benjamin Netanyahu said that as well. So the one thing we are benefiting from at the moment is the attack on the World Trade Center.
Netanyahu said, quote, we're benefiting from one thing, and that is the attack on the Twin Towers and Pentagon and the American struggle in Iraq.
Now, is that a lie? Cran, is that a lie? Did that not happen?
He's still going after Grant.
What do you want me to call these people? These people who live in Israel, that run the country of Israel, that also have their fingers in every piece of our country, business-wise and election-wise. Every single congressman and senator is being bought off by lobbyists that work for Israel. What do you want me to call them? Give me a name, and that's the name we'll use.
Of course, pavement has character. Everything has characteristics.
From now on, instead of the Jews. That's like saying only the quarterbacks are the football players.
What?
That's like saying
only the people in the choir, in the Air Force choir, only the people in the Air Force choir are the ones who really count.
Jewish from Hopi turn. It's all strictly asked.
Damn, we skipped way too far back.
So that they could thrive. Our government asked the Jews. Add Jews.
Book in the 1990s.
Understand, see.
Osama bin Laden worked for the whole blind sheep.
That's a fact.
Revelations. I knew
Osama bin Laden worked for Mossad. That's a Burt fact.
That's who we have to concern ourselves with.
Psychic, was he? You know, like, it's got Israeli.
And that is the attack on the Twin Towers and Pentagon and the American struggle in Iraq.
Now, is that a lie? Cran, is that a lie? Did that not happen?
Cran.
What do you want me to call these people?
Marianne Cran boobs.
That run the country of Israel, that also have their fingers in every piece of our country, business-wise and election-wise. Every single congressman and senator is being bought off by lobbyists that work for Israel. What do you want me to call them? Give me a name, and that's the name we'll use from now on, instead of the Jews. That's like saying only the quarterbacks are the football players.
What?
Timber saying goodnight, I guess. Damn.
AIPAC is who he's trying to think of. AIPAC. AIPAC. AIPAC.
Am I pissing everybody off by just sharing this stuff?
Yep.
Are we so afraid of our own shadows that we can't hear what's...
You are underestimating the fundamental Zionist Christians in your chat. I'm telling you, I grew up in those churches. They are taught we always have to support Israel. God commanded us to support Israel. If anybody's going to attack Israel, we're going to be right the fuck there. Israel doesn't do wrong. Not the people. Not the, hey, we need to help these starving people or these people that their house burned down or these struggling people. The governments. You were taught that in Southern churches, at least. That's where I went to church. In Christian churches, they do no wrong. We must support them. God has his hand on them and is telling them what, even if it seems like they did something wrong, God works in mysterious ways, baby.
Somebody saying, I can't watch your lives anymore. Only Judah were Jews. What do you want me to call them then? Maybe she hung up. Maybe she got off the phone. Get off my phone. For the rest of you with open minds, let's continue.
Okay.
These false flag attacks all the time. How much evidence do people need? And what would be the benefit for the Arab world blowing up Twin Towers? I mean, how have they benefited from this? Have a look at Iraq. Have a look at what we've done to the Arab world since that event happened.
Are you kidding me? What is the benefit? One, the attack. Two, the press. Who doesn't know what fucking happened on 9/11? And three, the recruiting.
And look what Israel has got from that event happening and ask yourself, who benefits?
You know, you got to ask yourself.
Rounded up 200 Israeli operatives after 9/11, during their 9/11 sweep operation, and deported them back to Israel. The Israelis invaded modern They admit that's what they used to oust the British from Palestine and take over Israel in 1948, and they've been doing it ever since. But they learned early on to make it look like Arabs and Muslims did it rather than Jews. You look at Larry Silverstein, who's a terrific owner in New York, and a very good friend of mine who I just called. I was very worried about him because I assumed maybe he was in the building. He just in the building 1 week ago. As you know, he just bought the World Trade Center.
Right. Lo and behold, two Jewish billionaires buy two asbestos-filled buildings that are half empty, of which the Port Authority was attempting to get out from under the liability and debt associated with these worthless buildings. Two Jewish billionaires named Frank Lowy and Larry Silverstein buy these buildings, and the fact is, the literal truth.
That's part of the conspiracy. They didn't show up that day. They took out the insurance policy and they made billions.
The undeniable fact is that when they purchased the lease on the Twin Towers, they literally transferred billions of dollars of liability over to themselves because the cost to extract the asbestos was in the billions.
Netanyahu said in a book in the 1990s that if we don't...
Okay, so my point in showing you guys all this is so that you can have the knowledge. We know that Israel is a big part of the United States, and they assimilated to American lifestyle to the point where a lot of them became Democrats, which is why it's now understood.
You know, asbestos does not have to be removed. You guys know that, right? It's actually really, really good insulation, soundproofing, fireproofing. It's actually really good at what it does. The only problem is when you disturb it and release the particles. You don't have to remove the asbestos from these buildings, right? You do have to warn people and label asbestos-containing materials for anybody that's going to be doing upgrades or plumbers or changing a floor plan or whatever, to know that there's asbestos below that. And if they disturb it, then the particles get in the air, and they're basically like little fucking hypodermic needles, and they get stuck in your lungs. But this asbestos treatment, they're going to spend billions of dollars. They weren't going to do that. They weren't going to do that. Every power plant I've worked in my whole life is full of asbestos. And there's no abatement. It's called abatement when you go in and like remove lead or asbestos or whatever. There's no abatement plan for anything. Apartment buildings all over the place full of asbestos, depending on when they were built. It's actually really good at what it does. The problem is, if you keep it in whole chunks or sealed or whatever, it'll never hurt you. But when you start handling it and it breaks open or falls or a piece or it's jostling around and turning to dust, you know, just from vibration, that's what's bad.
Why they would be part of the Democrat Party instead of the Republican Party, because their intention is to go along to get along. And their main foothold in the United States back in the day was Manhattan. Manhattan's always been a Democrat-run area of the country.
Okay.
It makes sense that they would assimilate to that belief style, because their reason for being here is to thrive. A lot of us just want a little white house with a picket fence, a dog and a cat, a wife and 2 kids, and enough money to not have to worry about where your next meal's coming from. That's not
the estimates were like $1 million per floor to pull the asbestos out, but they weren't going to do that. They just weren't. If anything, you would just upgrade it as you go. You would keep it sealed, and then as soon as you needed to upgrade a floor or change it or whatever, when you went in there, you're already going to be in there beside it, then you would remove it. But that would be part of the project individually. We're not going to shut the whole building down for 2 years and remove all the asbestos. That just doesn't happen.
The belief system of some other people, the Goldman Sachs and the people that run all these major companies. There's a reason why you open up your doors and become a major corporation, a major company. You want to be wealthy. You don't do it because these people need good clothes, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they got the best clothes. I don't care if I ever make a dime doing it. No. Hey, these people need good clothes. I bet I made a lot of money doing that. That's why they do it. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. There's nothing wrong with being smart enough to figure out. Cran, what the heck does what you're saying have to do with what I'm talking about?
Oh, God, Cran!
Have you read the Bible? Honey, I read Huckleberry Finn.
Get out of here, Cran!
What does that mean?
That'll hurt him with the Christians there. Cran says, have you read the Bible? And he said, I've read Huckleberry Finn, too. What does that have to do with anything?
Talking about, have you read the Bible? Honey, I read Huckleberry Finn, too. What does that mean? Those verses were the only churches Jesus was pleased with. I don't have a problem with which church they were pleased with. I'm not talking about that. We're not in Bible school right now. We're watching the flipping news. I'm trying to help you guys figure out what's happening.
Your habits could put you...
God damn, dude.
And long-term cognitive decline. It turns out there's a specific...
Get the fuck out of here.
They're not just... I can't Cran. What do you want me to call them? You give us...
Wait. Did you hear him say, again, Cran, what do you want to call them? What do you think his next impression is going to be? I'm going to give you multiple choice. Do you think his next impression that he does is going to be a Jewish person? A mentally handicapped person? A deaf person or an Arabic person? What do you think his next impression is going to be here? Arabic? Good guesses? Everybody's doing, do I always make it the last one or something? Either way, it will be offensive. You're exactly right. Here we go.
Give us the name. You can play God and tell us what to call the people who call themselves Jews, who live in Israel, who are under the control of Netanyahu, who live here and go to the synagogue. What do you want me to call? Let me help you out. What do you want me to call them?
A deaf person. And that's how we play Birdopoly. A deaf person.
Yahoo, who live here and go to the synagogue. What do you want me to call? Let me help you out. What do you want me to call them?
A deaf person. Not bad. Not bad there.
Because you won't tell me. You want to tell me I don't read my Bible? I'm a singer who plays guitar, who's trying to help people understand what the heck is.
He's a professional singer who plays guitar, who sets up chairs for other singers on the side.
Happening in the world right now. And you think you didn't go to Bible school long enough. You don't know what you're talking about.
God damn it, Narc. That's a bad time to call. Narc does pick some pretty good times.
Give me an answer, Clan. I asked you half a dozen times. What do you want me to call him?
I don't think Bert can afford to change his phone number. I think the problem. He can't afford to fucking pay attention. That's how broke Bert is.
Armchair quarterbacks. You're welcome to your opinion, but if you're gonna pick an argument with me, stay in the argument. I'm not kicking you out of the room. You've been here for a long time. I've never been sure whether or not you were really fond of us, but you're here. Give me an answer. While we wait for you to decide to get back engaged again, since you want to jam up the chat room with your criticism.
Again, jam up the chat room. It's the only person speaking. I can't be more clear. The only person typing anything in his chat is this person. He's like, you're jamming up the chat room with your jam.
I'm going to move on to the next.
You know what the difference between marmalade and jam is, Bert? Bert, what's the difference between marmalade and jam? I can't marmalade my cock down your throat. It hits every time, baby.
Piece of tape that I brought in for today's show. If you don't mind. Good Lord.
Watching your video calls. Apple will now block your face. I want to understand. They're watching your video
every time. Hits every time.
Block your FaceTime call.
Now listen to this. And again, for Cran out there who's going to say, oh, you're a pervert. You got to read your Bible. You shouldn't be naked. Cran, I'm up to here with the church ladies. I kicked the church ladies out of my room a year ago. Those are the ones that turned on me. Oh, I'm never going to listen to you again. You played a video with the F word in it.
No one even said that, but okay.
And they created their own chat room to do nothing but hate on me because apparently I'm not Christian enough. And the more you Christians do that kind of shit, the further you push people like me away from your Christianity. I'm a Christian, but I am not a hypocrite. I hold people responsible for whatever's written in the Bible that they didn't get around to reading if they're a good person. Israel are not Jews.
Let me ask you a story, or let me ask you about a scenario. Let's say a fictional company that Bert's not about to talk about, a completely different fictional company. Let's call it Bapple. Bapple makes cell phones. And in the interest of reducing like people being taken advantage of and revenge porn and child pornography and all that good stuff, they come up with an idea. And Bapple says, look, we are going to shut off the video stream if you're on a video call and someone starts undressing. Now, you can say that's a bad policy. You don't like that policy. I like to sext with women or something, whatever. Like the video chat. I make Mariah take her phone into the shower and video chat with me while she's bathing. Whatever you want to say. You don't have to agree with the policy. Do you think that is a person watching every video call in the world? Or do you think that they have assigned some artificial intelligence to be able to notice when someone's undressing and freeze the call? Because the video he just played a short snippet of is, Apple's watching your video calls. Yep, let me tell you what they're going to do. That's the video he just played. Is Bapple watching our video calls? I don't think so.
Oh, I'm never going to listen to you. You got to read
your watching your video calls. Apple will now block your face.
I want to understand.
They're watching your video calls. Apple will now block your FaceTime call.
Now listen to this. And again, for Clan out there, who's going to say, oh.
I know when people freaked out, Apple. So a long time ago, Apple came out. This has been years ago. Apple, if you had nudes on your phone, there was this weird trick. You could go to your Apple, like your gallery, and the gallery has a search tab. And in the search tab, you could type in bra, B-R-A, bra, and hit search. And it would bring up any nudes you had. And people were like, how do they know that I got nudes on my phone and blah, 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 whatever. AI, bro. They're scanning the photos. Bra is obviously something that you might look up because you're like, I tried on a bra and took a picture of it, whatever. That's clearly a category. And if you got nudes, that's going to correlate with that category, obviously. But people freaked out about it. There's not someone watching your video call.
Oh, you're a pervert. You got to read your Bible. You shouldn't be naked. Now listen to this. And again, for Clan out there, who's going to say, oh, you're a pervert. You got to read your Bible. You shouldn't be naked. Clan, I'm up to here.
Is he just say, is the person's name Cran, C-R-A-N or K-R-A-N, or is it crayon? And he's just saying it extremely Southern. Because around here they say crayon for crayon.
Church ladies. I kicked the church ladies out of my room a year ago. Those are the ones.
You guys don't make your wife shower and do video calls with you? That's just me.
It turned on me.
Fran?
I'm never going to listen to you again. You played a video with the F word in it.
He's got a very hard C with that F pronunciation.
They created their own chat room to do nothing but hate on me because apparently I'm not Christian enough. And the more you Christians do that kind of shit, the further you push people like me away from your Christianity. I'm a Christian, but I am not a hypocrite. I don't hold people responsible for whatever's written in the Bible that they didn't get around to reading if they're a good person. Israel are not Jews. Jews have
I think you're just guessing when you said Fran. He's not saying Fran.
But those people, well, God damn it, what? They're a good person.
Listen.
Israel's are not. Israel.
He's going to freak out again. Here we go. Cran is finally telling them what to call.
Hold people responsible for whatever's written in the Bible that they didn't get around to reading if they're a good person. Israel are not.
He can't say the word Israelis. Israel's.
People responsible for whatever's written in the Bible that they didn't get around to reading if they're a good person. Israel are not Jews. Jews have suffered. But those people, well, God damn it, what do you want me to call them?
I wouldn't start with God damn it. They seem to be on that guy's side. Or at least they claim, right? I don't know. I wouldn't start with that. God damn it, Fran!
See, she won't say, folks. So she's just instigating. I'm about this close to kicking you out of this room, Cran. Give me a name. And we will forever call those Jewish people, those people over there that wear the yarmulkes, we'll give them the name you want. But if you say one more damn thing without telling me what you want me to call the Jews, you're gone. How about that?
If you say one more damn thing without telling me what to call the Jews, you're out of here. You hear me? Hey, I'm walking here. That's my New York guy.
Now, let me get back to this other story that I was talking about.
God damn, his blood pressure. His blood pressure's as high as that fucking flag behind him.
Apple,
I bet you he can feel his pulse in his ears. He can hear his pulse.
Is about, or has already passed, a FaceTime regulation on the phones. If you're FaceTiming on your phone, they're watching it.
Wrong.
They're watching it, and they're reviewing it live.
Wrong.
They have
watching it and reviewing it live. Would that be an adequate way to describe a bot built in that detects nudity and freezes the screen? They're watching it and they're reviewing it live. Every FaceTime call in the world. They have a sensitive content warning feature that allows them to do this. They can even blur videos and images that'll pop up on your screen. It displays a warning and has guidance on whether or not you want to proceed, blah, 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 all that stuff. You can still bypass it, but I'm just telling you, it's not a person watching it.
AI doing the reviewing, but if there's any nudity, and what are they going to decide is the nudity? So what if a husband and wife are 1,000 miles apart from each other?
Still nudity. It doesn't change what nudity is. It pauses a FaceTime call when nudity is detected, prioritizing user safety and privacy. And it's only in beta currently. It doesn't drop your call.
And she says, honey, I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I'm getting into bed, and they're talking, and he says, baby, I miss you so much. She goes, well, here, this is what you're missing. That's his wife.
Here, this is what you're missing. You want a shot from the inside? It's still nudity, even if it's your wife. That doesn't change what nudity is, Bert. Buy a fucking Android, I guess. But he's like, oh, that's his wife. Is that nudity? Yeah. Right. Yes. If nudity is detected, the call will be paused and a message will appear indicating that sensitive content may be displayed with options to resume or end the call. That's it. And you'll get one on your side too. Maybe you forgot that your video was running, right? Or you think you're out of the frame or something like that, and you got to throw on clothes right quick to go somewhere.
Should you be doing that? No, because that's going to somehow get out. But it happens. But Apple's decided.
Also, you can go into settings, through settings, content, sensitive content warning setting, and enable or disable it. So, like, if you're all the time doing this with your wife or whatever, you just turn it off.
But they're going to take your content down.
Your content down? Wait, now are we posting OnlyFans? What? Only Berts?
But Apple's decided that they're going to take your content down. Now, that's just the elephant.
I'm sure there's somebody at Apple just waiting to see fucking Bert's tiny little Bert. They're on the edge of their seat thinking, when the fuck is this guy going to give up his involuntary celibacy? We're ready.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
Putting his trunk under the tent. What else are they going to decide is inappropriate? Political speech? Religious speech?
Do not go to OnlyFans and search users, the Big Dick Daddy from Cincinnati, and do not pay me $9.99 a month to get point of view shots of just the underside of my taint. It's kind of blurry because I got to zoom in. I can't get a good angle, but it's there.
They can put Cran in charge of that. This is a slippery slope. So I'm going to let you watch this. Bear that in mind without making judgments on what they're saying they're doing it for, because that's not why they're doing it.
That's not why they're doing it. It's because they want to watch you be naked. They pause the video, bro. What would be the point of them pausing the video? So they can't record it? I use a selfie stick. I just try to drag. So it's one swift motion, okay? So I take the phone. I'm going to show you. Hold on. I take the phone, and you can see here's the camera button, right? I set it this way. It's where I set it this way. It's It's where I'm coming at it. Okay, see the camera button right here? And what I try to do is like, these are my legs, and pretend that my thumb is my ball sack, okay? What I try to do is I set it down on a milk crate, okay? And I swoop in, tap it with my ball sack, boop, and then move just a hair, and it's perfect every time. I don't have to worry about angling it. I don't have to worry about being centered. That split millisecond it takes for my balls to drag across and it to register as a haptic input, good to go. All taint all the time. That should be my next account name.
Watching your video calls. Apple will now block your FaceTime call if it detects nudity. iOS 26 introduces a new update that scans FaceTime in real time and automatically kills the feed if it catches anyone undressing or showing skin. They're not just
Again, I told you again, first of all, you can turn it off. Second of all, it says sensitive information or sensitive content has been detected. Here's some warnings about it if you want to click and read to end the call or to proceed, both those things, and you can go on about your life. And you can even turn that off, right? You can even turn that off. So
watching, they're cutting the line mid-call. Apple calls it sensitive content detection, but behind that friendly name is a neural net trained to monitor every single pixel of your video feed in real time. No warning, no appeal, just instant censorship. And if it can detect skin, what else can it detect?
Well, you don't need a warning or an appeal. It is in itself a warning, right? Why would you need an appeal? They're not banning you from using Apple products if your tit comes on.
Right. Tattoos, medical equipment, political signs, who is in the room with you,
an American flag,
what your room looks like, and Apple says it's all happening on device, but their machine learning models update silently in the background.
You realize that a lot of the phones have fucking LiDAR and shit built into them now, and now you're just worrying about what room you're in, how many people are there with you, what's going on. You brought this into your home willingly. We're way past any of this just because they're detecting nudity.
Control the camera, the chip, the code, the rules. This isn't about safety, it's moral surveillance. And once a kill switch exists, it's only a matter of time before it gets used for a lot more than nudity.
That's
stay private or stay watched.
That's exactly right. Stay private or stay watched. Big Brother. And this is happening under, Apple's doing it, and I want Trump to do something.
He almost said Obama.
About it. Okay, so help me out, 45. I don't know how
it helps me raise up Old Glory. When I can see Mariah's big old titties, it helps me raise up Old Glory.
Spell it, but they're called Khazarians. Okay, the Khazarian Jews are European Jews.
It looks like a baby's arm holding an apple. It looks like a brachiosaurus trying to get the top leaf. Just they're more tender up here. You know what I'm saying?
The white Jews, the Jews that came from Europe. That's what the Khazarian Jews are. And that article that I was playing, that Cran criticized, said that plainly. That they were Khazarian and Ashkenazi and all this other stuff. These are Jews that came from all...
Ashkenazi. They're Ashkenazi. Khazarian.
All over the world because they were kicked out of their homeland until 47 when the British gave them somewhere to settle. And there are some that say that the Jews outsmarted the British to get that property. And there's other people that say that the Palestinians weren't called Palestinians then.
They promised it to both groups of people.
Were Arabs, which is what I know to be true. And they moved into Palestine because that's the name it was given. It wasn't originally that. And the Jewish homeland and Palestine, suddenly now the Arabs, nomads, said, this is our land. Well, you didn't.
So the British and 100% promised both groups the same land.
Well, you didn't want F all to do with it until 47 when they gave it to
And he is missing a lot of shit, yes.
But now you want to we've been here for millions of years. Well, no, really you haven't. You were in Saudi Arabia and you came over there. Hey, what are these Jews doing here? Let's kick them out. That's the way I learned it. So the Jews and the Muslims have been fighting since day one, since Islam became a religion. The first thing Islam said was, we got to get the Jews out of here. And that's what they try to do.
Makes sense.
Am I saying that the Jews are not God's chosen people? I'm not saying that. I have told you guys, I don't know how many times, I believe the United States is one of the 12 tribes of Israel. I believe we are the chosen people. That's what I believe.
In the early 20th century, amidst World War I, the British government made a series of declarations and agreements concerning the future of the Middle East, including the region of Palestine. The promises designed to garner support from both Arabs and Jews for the Allied war effort against the Ottoman Empire were unfortunately contradictory and set the stage for later conflict, promising the land to both groups. That's just what they did.
Leave. But thank you, help me out, 45, because Arian.
Right, will you send me a picture of your titties? We've been talking about it so much now, I just wanted to look at them.
Was mentioned in that article, but for some reason, Fran doesn't want to come up with a name, and she wants to criticize everything I have to say. I cannot wait to tune in to Cran's show on YouTube that she's going to start.
He's still arguing with Cran.
She went all Karen on me and said, I've said what I had to say. I won't say anymore. No, because you don't have a name to give these people that we're talking about. And
right. You didn't come up with your name.
Pick. Have I even met you in person? I don't think I have. Have we ever talked on the phone? Maybe. But I talk to a lot of people. So if you've been somebody who's contributed to the show and all those other things, that's great. But I call strikes and balls. Fran says I don't go to church for your information. Well, hon, then what is your issue with me sharing an article?
Why can't someone disagree with you in your chat? It's the only person in your chat. I don't care if they're uncomfortable. I don't care if they're lopsided. I don't care if they're out of focus. Just send me some titties.
What is your issue with it? If you're going to get in the chat room and make a ruckus, back up your opinion. Or keep your opinion to yourself. You're welcome to say whatever you want to say, but if you want to argue with me in the middle of my show, I don't know, do you think that you're the principal and I'm the student and I'm supposed to walk in there with an apple and say, I'm sorry, can I go back to class now? Because that's
I'm sorry, teacher. Can I go back to class now?
I went to 24 schools by the 10th grade, and my mom and dad never could understand why I didn't behave in school. I can tell them now, I didn't tell them back then, but I knew we were going to be leaving soon. I didn't figure I had to behave. Screw these people. We probably won't be here another 6 weeks.
How Gen X
running from bill collectors.
Bodies back.
So this is my mom and this is my grandma. I recently posted.
That's how I felt. I'm not going to be able to make friends. As soon as I make friends, we're going to leave anyway. So you come in the chat room and you just make a disruption and say, okay, that's it. I ain't going to say no more.
He's so fucking mad, bro. No one else has commented in 40 goddamn minutes on his show. 2 people come in and said, hey, Bert. 2 people said, praise the Lord. And ever since then, it's only been Cran. And he's still mad.
If you don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. Damn. And again, if you've been a contributor, if you've been
and again, if you've been sending me money, yeah, you're good. But this Cran, bitch.
Donor, wonderful. Thank you so much. But one of the reasons that people like the show, I hope, is that I cover both sides of things.
By saying the Jews rule the world and whatever. See, we can even hear him. That was him sneezing. Listen. Oh, that's a good booby, Mariah.
I watch conservative news, so you don't have to.
Thank you.
My slogan is I watch the news, so you don't have to. And I bring you what I think is important. And with everything that's going on, and us trying to figure out what's going on with
what is that, a squid's eye?
The Epstein files, I think that this is important stuff. Why would we be letting a Jewish guy off the hook? Why would we decide all of a sudden
that's a line from The Office. One of the new people that comes down for Stanford has to breastfeed, and Creed takes a picture of her nipple. And he comes over and he's made it the back, the wallpaper on his computer. And Michael goes, what is that? A squid's eye? And she's like, it's the nipple of my left breast. And he's like, he looks at the computer, looks at her tits, looks at the computer, looks at her tits. He's like, really? It's pretty funny.
That Epstein didn't do it, and he killed himself, and he didn't, and there was no blackmail list, and there's no client list, which is bullshit. We know there was, because there's too many world leaders on that list. And why?
The list. How do we know that there was a list? How do we know that a list exists? Because we believe that there's world leaders on the list, so that means it has to exist. You see how that doesn't make any fucking sense? We know there's a list. We know it exists because there's too many world leaders on it. Somebody Control-Alt-Deleted that motherfucker.
Why were the world leaders on that list? Because powerful people have powerful sex drives. That's the truth. And Epstein knew through his handlers.
What? That doesn't even make sense because poor people disproportionately make more kids. Powerful people have powerful sex drives. That's a fact.
And there's no client list, which is bullshit. We know there was. Because there's too many world leaders on that list.
In fact, bored people, not busy people, and you would imagine powerful people are pretty busy people. Bored people have a hell of a lot more sex because every time there's like a big snowstorm or a big power outage or something where people are stuck in their homes, the birth rate goes way the fuck up 9 months after that.
And why were the world leaders on that list? Because powerful people have powerful sex drives. That's the truth. And Epstein knew through his handler.
How funny would it be if the only thing that they have concrete Epstein is just a Trump sex tape? Not even a victim involved. It's just him sitting in a room where he thought he wasn't being recorded, beating his dick. He's got to like reach around his belly.
Of what to use to get these people to come to his island and do naughty things, not knowing they were being filmed, and then go, look at this. Let me show you what we got on you, man. Look at that. See that? Look there. What do you think's going to happen if I give that to the media? Oh, please don't do that. Well, send me $100,000 a month for my charity, and come back every once in a while, and we'll be cool. You're gonna be part of the club.
I think I have a high sex drive because of adrenaline. I think that people with combat experience and PTSD are like adrenaline junkies, and when I'm already feeling down, I want a burst of adrenaline. I want to fuck.
That's how you do it.
Maybe. I don't know.
People under your control. That's what he did. Now, what would be his motivation for that? Well, maybe his bosses in Israel, the J people.
The J people? The J people.
Said the more dirt you get on these powerful leaders, the more benefit it is to us. So keep on going, buddy. Here's some more money. Expand your island. Get those leaders in there. Get those politicians in there. Get those stars in there. Because all of them have one thing in common. They're very successful. They're very rich. And they've got absolutely insatiable sex drives. I used to be like that myself.
Oh. Ooh, that's disgusting, kind of.
They're very rich, and they've got absolutely insatiable sex drives.
Insatiable. I don't think he knows what the word is. Unsatiable. Unsatiable. There's no N in it.
Thing in common. They're very successful. They're very rich, and they've got absolutely insatiable sex drives. I used to be like that myself.
I used to have an unsatiable sex drive, Bert. That was a hard N in unsatiable.
And it will get you in trouble, eventually.
Unsatiable with no N means that it can't be satisfied, right? You can't satisfy this need or desire or whatever. You just can't stop.
And he used his position.
I used to be unsatiable.
And the money where nobody could figure out where it came from. Well, if the Mossad gave you millions of dollars to operate a phony operation with, well, there's your money.
He was a hedge fund manager.
I am only telling you what's out there, what we're hearing. What else can I say? This guy had dirt on everybody. And now we're not going to get to find out why. I'll tell you what I think is why.
He claims he's been celibate. He told God, for some reason, that if God got rid of his cancer, that he would never have sex again. Was it dick cancer? I don't understand.
Imagine this scenario. Netanyahu says, we've got the same list you've got, but you can't talk about it. It will bring down worldwide governments.
Okay.
It will destroy America from within.
Okay.
All of the celebrities that everyone always have looked up to, they're going to find out that none of them can any longer be worshipped at all. These big, huge stars can't be worshipped at all anymore. Everybody's idea of the world they've lived in is suddenly going to crack open. And everybody's going to be...
Well, like people like Diddy, right? At one time, and they found out he was a piece of shit. People like Kanye, they found out he was a piece of shit, and the world didn't fall apart. So, I don't know if that's it.
Sitting there in shock. You know how many people worship celebrities to the point where it's their whole life? I know people like that with Elvis. I've seen people say on my Facebook page, if anybody's going to say anything negative about Elvis, I'm not listening. Well, I love Elvis too. But Elvis did bring a 13-year-old girl into his house and wait until she was 21 to marry her. Jerry Lee Lewis did the same thing.
He blows all his money on hookers, maybe.
Sex drives.
No. You don't get to say that people that have insatiable sex drives get to fuck kids. Those are two different things. Right? I have a very, very, very high sex drive. I don't ever think about fucking kids, dude. You can't just hand wave that, well, they're just powerful people with unsatiable sex drives. No?
This did bring a 13-year-old girl into his house and wait until she was 21 to marry her. Jerry Lee Lewis did the same thing. Because rich, powerful people have insatiable sex drives. And
he's talking about fucking 13-year-olds and being like, hey, well, they just got unsatiable sex drives. You can't hand wave that away. Those are not, one is not an excuse for the other.
Muslims love young girls because they're virgins. Why do you see all these celebrities that are in their 50s and 60s with these 20-year-old girls, 18-year-old girls? Woody Allen married his stepdaughter. It's all about an insatiable sex drive. And the fact that when you get to that level of fame, you've tried it all, you've had it all, and you're bored. Just going to sleep and going to bed with your wife ain't enough anymore. You got to invite a friend over.
Sometimes Mariah makes me wear a wig. But I didn't realize it was because she was so powerful. Although it was just because I'm bald.
Then all of a sudden that's not enough. So now we got to go to a party where 20 people are in a pile. And all of a sudden that's not enough. So now we got to all do some cocaine.
It looks just like Bert's. It looks just like Bert's hair, but it doesn't go on my head. I didn't explain it well. It looks just like Bert's hair if you flipped it upside down, and it's got a rubber band around it, and she makes me put it around my ball sack. So it looks like my ball sack has a little Bert afro.
About 20 people are in a pile. Well, that's exciting. What else? Okay, well, let's do it on a boat. Well, let's do it on an airplane. It's always more. Epstein knew that. We can get these people out here on the island, and we can get them to drink baby's blood. Drink some baby's blood while the camera rolls.
God, the static is so bad.
Now, our next piece of news, since I guess we're going to... The fight has stopped.
I'll show you. Hold on.
With the people
Why
to pick on
you
me.
not let me do it? Hold on. Hold on. I'll show you. Just wait. Nope. Wrong. Something like that. This is my ball sack. This is my ball sack wig. And then this behemoth, the big black part, that's the base of the shaft. Understand? That's what she likes me to wear. She says it tickles her no-no square. I don't know what that means because I shave. I look like a baby seal down there.
Subject matter today. Some more subject matter for you. Atheist communists have infiltrated the Democrat Party in America. This is from Tim Pool. Is it okay if I play Tim Pool?
Atheistic communists who fled the Soviet Union came to London, New York, and L.A. The real Soviet Union. They all fled the Soviet Union upon its collapse. In Russia is now the United States of the 1950s, Tim. Yeah. You can make that analogy. But the people who came here burrowed into the Democratic Party. These far-left communists, celebrities, union, exactly the same. Russia.
So there was another clip I want to see of Bert talking about
fans back in the chat room.
His donations.
Bible for 30 years. And that's Tim Pool.
Uh-oh. Cran's back.
About 1 million followers. Cran's back in the chat room. Cran says, I've studied the Bible for 30 years.
I look like a baby seal that's covered in third-degree burns all over their body. And you didn't let me finish.
Sorry I hurt your feelings. You didn't hurt my feelings. You didn't hurt my feelings. You picked a fight. And you got one. That's all. You pick a fight with me, you're going to get one. Again, you never gave me a name to call the people that you don't think are Jews that live in Israel and that run the Israeli government. You never told me what I can call them. I have to get permission from you, I guess. You come, I have to leave. I can't take your lies. You called me a fucking liar. For playing somebody else's video. You didn't hurt my feelings. You pissed me off.
You fucking jerk. You get on my nerves. That's a song.
You got one. You're welcome to stay in the room, too, by the way. My moderators would have kicked you out by now. But I'm not going to do that anymore. Might as well go ahead and bring this up now. Since we're almost at midnight. My goodness.
Okay.
When you're having a fight. Folks, I need your help.
Oh. You were going so strong, Bert. Folks, I need you to put a mortgage on your home.
If we can get some donations coming in, and I get criticized every night for asking people to make donations. Okay? Every single podcast.
Wait till he tells you all the reasons he can't have a job.
Who does it? I know, because after I get done with mine, I go over and watch everybody else's. And everyone.
He goes and watches mine. By the way, nothing makes Bert more upset than when we get donations. I'm just saying. You don't have to donate to me, right? You don't have to donate to me. Nothing in this world makes Bert more upset than when he's watching my show after his show and I have donations coming in and they're popping up on the screen. The other day, he's like, this son of a bitch sat over there making fun of me, made $300.
One of them do it. They ask you for donations or they ask you to buy a product that they represent. That's the same thing. If they can talk you into going and signing up for gold and silver, they get a commission on it.
Uh-oh.
It's a business.
By the way, I saw Twitter earlier were freaking out on AOC because AOC called Trump a rapist. They think that they're going to win some type of defamation case because of the ABC guy says he was convicted by a jury of rape. That's not a factual statement. Rapist, in the way we all use the term, is a factual statement. He raped her. And she's 100% allowed to say that. Because for him to win that case, he would have to prove that none of that happened, that he was already convicted of happening. What she couldn't say is that a New York jury of his peers convicted him of rape, because that didn't happen.
My business isn't doing very well, but I'm not quitting.
Okay, don't quit.
Emails and text messages and everything else and phone calls.
Has Narc been talking to you?
People, stop begging for donations. It's not begging. This is my job.
Makes
sense. This is what I do.
Don't beg. Do your job.
Become successful at it.
Okay.
The only way to not become successful at it is to quit. But yet the advice most people give me, you need to quit and go get a job. 67 years old, go get a job. Outside of your career field that you've done for 50 years.
Yes. Why can't you get a job?
I've done one thing my entire life, and that's perform. One thing.
Sexually?
I owned some bars, and guess what I did in those bars? I performed.
Bart, were you in battered, splattered and baby battered with Marilyn Marquette? Madison Marquette, I'm sorry.
Bought the bar so I could have a place to perform without having to go on the road.
He had to buy the bars so he had a place to perform. I don't know if you guys just heard that. He bought the bars so he could have a place to perform. Why don't you perform as an actor undercover who has to get a job to learn the ropes?
Because for a little while there, I tried to be a family man. And by trying to be a family man, I lost everything. Because I signed a contract that the government insisted that I sign.
He will not leave he would not leave Las Vegas for no reason. He won't go anywhere else. He won't go somewhere cheaper to live and find a gig in a bar or do this. He will not. It's got to be in Vegas. He's got to be big enough. He's got to be proud of it. It's got to be a show. It's got to do this. It's got to do that.
That allowed them to give everything I own to somebody else. That allowed them to take it from me and give it to somebody else. Whoops. Learned a lesson there, didn't I? The hard way. Young men, listen closely. Do not get married. Do not.
That's American values.
Sit down with your pastor, if you have one. If you're not religious, then don't even bother with that part. Sit down.
Number 1, worst fruit for your waistline.
I really love grapes.
The reason you love them is because one,
with the person you claim that you think you love and that you think loves you, and make a handshake agreement with them. And if you got a lot of money, then make a contract with them. But do not let the government get in between you and your wife. You're sleeping with your wife and Uncle Sam. And I promise you, Uncle Sam wants to screw you a lot better than she did.
Uncle Sam doesn't send me titty pictures.
Don't sleep with Uncle Sam. That son of a bitch is an asshole. So, I'm not going to quit this business. I'm not going to quit this job.
Thank God.
I am asking my audience if you can afford.
It only benefit. Look, I'm telling you to quit on your own behalf, right? It only benefits me the longer you go, because the more ridiculous you become.
$20, $10. Right now, the only thing I'm able to offer is Zelle or PayPal because my website is down.
Ah, damn it.
And it's going to remain down until we get a break. Paying the rent, feeding the cat has priority over the website right now.
Damn it, Bart.
If you can help out, please do. Bert at bertlynch.com. If you go to Zelle or PayPal, that's all you need. All right? And, of course, I'm going to get text messages, and I'm going to get emails, and I'm going to get the jackasses that are pretending to be somebody else and all of that stuff.
His bertlynch.com is still up. The store is down. He can't afford to pay Shopify or whatever.
Because there's people out there that just, they got to mess with people. They enjoy it. They're Satan-possessed individuals who enjoy messing with people.
That's right.
I'm trying to
see why he gets so mad when I get donations. Look at how fucking angry Satan-possessed people that enjoy messing with people. My website's down because I got to feed the cat my rent money or whatever the fuck he's saying.
Christian, I can say I forgive you, but I probably don't want to forgive you till after I punch you in the head.
Okay.
A few times, and then I'll probably forgive you.
Okay.
And then I'll have to ask God to forgive me. The good thing is I'm Christian and I know He will. And that's part of the reason why I don't punch nobody in the head. It's probably the only thing keeping a lot of people from getting messed up right now.
You think? You could drive to Tennessee with what gas? What car?
I'm not a perfect Christian, but I am saved.
Bert's arms look like cheap sausages. That's true.
If I can find me a perfect Christian, I'd like to meet him. But not right now, because the only time I'm going to meet a perfect Christian is when I meet Jesus. I'm not ready for that. I'm not done.
I'm here for you, Bert. If you need to confide in me, I'm here for you.
In my life. Here's some more interesting information.
I need your help.
Sir, what do you think? It seems to me liberal progressives live in a complete fantasy world, a fantasy world in which they tell themselves that the world is as they want it to be. Their whole way of people and cool.
We have some people.
It seems to me liberal progressives.
That's a perfect way to describe liberals. And we have some people from time to time in this chat room that behave that very same way.
Oh my
When
goodness.
they get their way, they throw a hissy fit.
Surely not.
It's beyond me how people can come into somebody else's chat room. I'm not talking about you now, Cran. I'm talking about other people that I kicked out of here. Other people that went and started their own little chat room and all this stuff, because I told them that this was not their house, it's my house.
Okay.
If you want to come in here and be disruptive, I will kick you out. And I did that a couple years ago, and it caused these idiots to go berserk.
Berserk.
I'm going to destroy him. He made fun of me in his chat room. You people are sick, demented, sad, pitiful.
While you're talking shit about him in your chat room, but whatever.
You keep doing it. Here's a little,
like everything he can say about them, he's done. Right, he's doing right now.
A bit more from Tim Pool on a new California law that makes it illegal to defend yourself. It's almost that way here in Las Vegas right now. Right now here in Las Vegas, there's no stand your ground law. If you get into a fight, it doesn't matter who started the fight. Both people get arrested. I think that's the craziest law there ever be, and I've been working for the last couple of years now with local politicians to try to get that changed.
Working with local politicians, I bet. You bring them all the experience with your Judy chops.
Enough video cameras in this town that you can't walk out of your apartment, you can't walk out of your garage without being on somebody's video camera. There's enough video cameras out there right now that a court or even a police officer can determine if you were assaulted and stood your ground, if you were assaulted and fought back. But you're not allowed to. In Nevada, it's like if two guys get into a knockdown drag out, then both of you are gonna go. Well, if one guy punches you and you knock him down and you stop, there's a chance the cop's gonna just take that guy. But he doesn't have to. He could take you both. And it would just all depend on what the people around you said at the top. If the bartender says, well, I like either one of them, okay, we'll take them both. But listen to what California is getting ready to do, or has already just done.
California is upset because they got this new law that basically is the opposite of stand your ground. It's run away. And they do have this in other blue states. Get this. If you are in your own home and someone breaks in with clear intent to cause you harm, they are saying you must flee from your own home. Go check this out. Hello, California. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. For more than a decade, the leadership in Sacramento has literally tied the hands of law enforcement and made it almost impossible for us to protect you. Now, they are coming after you and your ability to protect yourself. Under a new bill, AB 1333, by California Assembly Member from Santa Monica, Rick Chavez Spur, you will no longer be allowed to protect yourself when confronted by violent criminals. Under this bill, if a criminal attacks you or your family and you defend yourself, and that criminal dies as a result of his criminal behavior, you could be arrested and charged with murder.
Yep.
So that's not true. So listen, here's what it actually says. It's to codify what is non-justifiable homicide. And the circumstances include this. When a person is outside their home and knew that using deadly force could have been avoided by safely retreating. So you'd have to be outside, so not in your home, outside your home, and you know, before you ever made this engagement, that you would not have to use deadly force if you just turned and walk away now. You're good. You're not going to get jumped. You're not going to get attacked. They're not going to follow you. You just knew that you'd be good, right? You didn't engage with that. Or if you engage in mutual combat or knowingly provoking a person, though there's some exemptions for that. This bill is focused on is someone who goes out in public, picks a fight, and when the victim finally responds, they shoot them and claim self-defense. We saw this in California during a protest where the guy hopped out of the truck, started a bunch of shit with people, and then we went back to his truck and the people came back to talk to him. He turned around with a firearm. He didn't fire it, but he flashed it all around and flagged everybody with it or whatever. They're just misrepresenting what this bill is. You still might not like the bill, but they're misrepresenting it. Saying that you had to run out of your own home and that you couldn't defend yourself in your home, that's just not true. Now, if these cases exist and you could have walked away before ever engaging, or you provoked the person, kind of, basically, and then pulled a firearm on them, then yes, you could be held liable if they die.
The sheriff of California is upset because they got this new law that basically...
That's exactly right. And here in Nevada, it's they're not telling you to run away. Well, they kind of are. And, you know...
If it was that bad, he could just pull up he could just pull up AB 1333 and read it. Instead, he has to have Tim Pool and some clickbait and some Facebook reel read it for him.
In this town, I've never gotten arrested for one of them. But recently I was told that they started enforcing that, and I haven't been in a fight. Well, I was in a little scuffle a couple weeks ago, but the cops didn't come.
Even the least generous thing says the law requires individuals to retreat when possible before using deadly force in self-defense outside their home, and clarifying the circumstances under which self-defense is justifiable, potentially impacting the use of force in public and private spaces. The bill has been withdrawn by its author in March of 2025. So it didn't even go to a vote. It was withdrawn before they even voted on it. But yeah, let's make people mad about it. In California, you got to run out of your home if somebody attacks you.
That was a knockdown drag out. I mean, I just put down a chokehold. Let's see, where am I?
Oh, wait. Is he in a fight again?
And, you know, I've been in so many fights in this town. I've never gotten arrested for one of them. But recently I was told that they've started enforcing that, and I haven't been in a fight. Well, I was in a little scuffle a couple weeks ago, but the cops didn't come.
A couple weeks ago, he was in a scuffle and choked some guy from out.
That was a knockdown drag out. I mean, I just put down a chokehold. Let's see, where am I at here?
That guy put him in a fucking double knee gag hold, if you know what I mean.
Where am I? I need to get rid of this. We're running out of time. I have so much more to tell you. Let me see what else is here. I know I got a bit of a late start tonight. I was sick yesterday.
There's no goddamn. He hasn't been in a fight. He hasn't been down. He can't fucking. He can barely get his shoes on and off.
Still not feeling good. But okay, these are nothing. This one doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to play this one for you.
He's going to meet me in the octagon one day.
The reason why there were so many fatalities in Texas with this.
I think Bird is the prime example. I think karate's really good. Okay, I think it teaches kids discipline and to stick with something and to. It's athletic and it helps them get in shape and they can move forward and feel like they're progressing and get a sense of accomplishment. Karate's not great oftentimes because it builds a unwarranted sense of being able to protect yourself. And when someone that just knows how to fight just gets you to the ground and kicks you in the fucking head, you're out, right? Right? Get them to the ground and use the ground and gravity as your friend. And we see that time and time again. Especially as old and as his build, his structure. Yeah. It wouldn't be good for Bart.
Charlie Kirk is reporting it. I've seen it several places, but I decided to use this clip for you.
Should be. And the Democrats are so despicable. But we are in a state of national mourning, as we should be. And the Democrats are so despicable. The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. What you are not being told by the media anywhere is that the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. This Texas tragedy is just the latest example. It's not just incompetence. This is DEI working to undermine meritocratic institutions, and more people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI. Let me prove it to you. In 2014, the Obama administration sued the Austin Fire Department, about 11 years ago, fire union, for supposed racial discrimination, resulting in a settlement. So the Obama administration was so worried that the fire department in Austin, Texas was racist, because when you're putting out fires, you got to make sure that you have a diverse fighting force. All jokes aside, well, pressure was on the city to prove its diversity credentials. So a few years later, they picked Joel Baker as their first black fire chief. He announced right away that promoting diversity is one of his top priorities. They brought him in from Atlanta, and his priority was not putting out fires or being prepared for floods. No, his priority was to make sure that the fire department was blacker. Like up 347.
This two-time fire chief wants to make a difference in the growing city of Austin and tells us he wants to start by bringing in more diversity.
It's important that the Austin Fire Department, as much as we can, reflect the community which we serve.
But when you hire people based on race, you're not hiring based on skill. So right now, Baker is facing a vote of no confidence by his union for, this is the key, for denying the pre-deployment of resources to Kerrville, Texas. Now, Kerrville is in Texas Hill Country, which is west of Austin. Austin has a monster fire department, and so his union, they wanted to pre-deploy resources to Kerrville, Texas.
Now listen, folks, this is really important. He claimed okay, here's the lapel.
This guy's the fire chief that was appointed over 100 goddamn miles away. DEI killed those poor little white Christian girls.
Lapel, you have heard me say where I work. You apparently only listen out of one ear. This is my job. This is what I do. I lost my career during COVID.
Oh, this is where Bert works.
I'm still kind of new here. I hear Bert asking for help paying for rent, but I've never heard him say where he works. I have said it in every program that this is my job. This is my business. This is what I do.
Knock, knock. I've never heard him say where he works.
I've told the story 100 times, Lapel. I was a headliner on the Strip when COVID hit.
Oh, thank you. I just got a donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, I just saw it. It's probably 11 minutes ago, but thank you.
COVID hit. Las Vegas got shut down. Nobody could work. No, the casinos were all closed. I was 62 years old when that happened. I was performing in what I consider was probably going to be my last stint on the Strip. And I wanted to make it last at least 5 or 6 years and make enough money to kind of retire on. So I spent all of my savings and brought in an investor, and we spent a lot of money producing a show on the Strip called Star Wars.
Okay.
The week we were supposed to open, COVID happened, and...
No, I've been in Vegas for 20 plus years. My family since the 60s, and I've asked around, and nobody has heard of this superstar Burt. I'm sure they haven't. He was getting ready to put together his retirement show. Good God, man.
The city was shut down. Immediately, there was no shows. Immediately. And then the casino started closing. And at the same time,
if you were a big enough name to draw this fucking amount of attention pre-COVID, why can't you do anything just post-COVID? No one will give you nothing? Oh, okay. Makes sense.
My investor contacted the people that we rented the house from. Don't expect any more money coming from this checking account because they just shut down our show. And he didn't bother to tell me he said that to them. And I intended to just pay the rent at the end of the month. Well, they sent me an eviction notice. And before our governor could stop all the evictions, a lot of people started losing their apartments and houses.
Ooh.
I got evicted.
That was his first eviction, by the way.
Same time that I was dealing with an eviction notice, my doctor said, we went ahead and tested the lump on your...
He's been evicted a bunch of times. That was the first one in this set of events. He's been evicted a bunch of times.
And you've got cancer, and you need to get in here right now. I went in there, and I'm being evicted. They're shutting down the strip, and I'm told I've got stage 4 throat and neck cancer and have less than a year to live. So I spent a year going through surgery and then going through recovery, and the whole time, I couldn't work. And the casino stayed closed for another year. By the time all of that started opening back up again, I had started podcasting. So I could have something to do from home. And for quite some time.
But now he doesn't want to do that anymore.
I was getting 5,000 or 6,000 views a night until the haters turned on me. And I decided I was going to leave Facebook and come to Rumble.
That's right, Ice King.
Because I thought I was going to have more freedom on Rumble. Problem is, nobody wants to come over here and watch shows. So I went from 4,000 or so people a night watching me on Facebook to...
Wrong. He went from 4,000 total views, which Facebook counts a view as live viewers. He had a handful. He always lies about this.
200. And so I haven't made...
He usually has maybe 20, 30 people watching him. He probably has 10 in the fucking chat. Like it's
in the last year and a half. But what else am I going to do? I'm a singer and a musician. And I had to sell all my music equipment in order to survive. And so I'm here doing this.
This is my job, loser.
There are other podcasters that have hundreds of thousands.
If your life depended on one shot, would you trust your zero?
Grab your AR! Thousands of viewers. And I'm as ambitious as a newborn Jew, I think.
Excuse me? You're as ambitious as what?
And I'm as ambitious as a newborn Jew. I think I can do it too. And I'm as ambitious as a newborn Jew. I think I can do it too.
I'm as ambitious as a newborn Jew, he said. Is that a common saying? I mean, like, for not, like, super racist people?
But I learned a long time ago because I was in sports, football, martial arts. The only way to ensure that you are going to lose is to quit in the middle of the fight. So I hope that answers your question, Bell. Now can I go back to telling people what's going on with this idiot fire chief in Austin? I've told you guys before, Austin is the most liberal place in Texas. It's a university town. It was taken over by the liberal mob years ago. It used to be a great...
Joe Rogan.
You guys might remember Austin city limits. But now it's just eat up with the dumbass. Listen to what this stupid black DEI...
Seems like Austin's doing pretty well, though.
The only problem, you have reimbursement. I don't think he is not a liar. Told one associate was coming 2 days, shove him up for this. His catastrophe.
By the way, I've got video footage of all the people from Kerrville in Kirk County, the place where the flood happened, or where most of the people were swept away at. I've got the video footage now of them saying, I don't want that Biden money. He's a communist, Marxist, meh, meh, meh.
Modern era. And now those little girls are...
We got Madison Bumgarner pitching. There you go. That's exactly the truth. They asked him to pre-deploy, just like what happened in L.A. In L.A.,
a weekly apartment.
That black mayor, refused to deploy.
And he's a weekly apartment, and he's always 5 or 6 days behind on the rent.
The fire department, when the fires first started, because of budgetary concerns, I'm not paying overtime. It's going to cost $800,000 to do this. Well, we're going to reimburse you. He went, reimburse me? What would that mean? What an idiot.
Whoa. Whoa.
Do this.
The guy's black. So how does Burt imitate a black fire chief?
Well, we are going to reimburse you. He went, reimburse me? What'd that mean? What an idiot.
That's like super racist, right? That's like doing blackface.
B.F. McDowell says it all the time. We live in a sorry world, Bert. This idiot didn't know what reimbursement meant, and he is the fire chief to the largest fire department in the country. And Obama insisted that they put him in that job. I'm not hating on black people. I'm not hating on Jews. Just telling you what's going on.
Okay. As long as you tell us that.
Some people say, well, you shouldn't talk about it because it makes it sound like you don't like black people. Well, what I want it to sound like, I don't like stupid people. I don't like unqualified people in charge of, especially public safety.
They're looking for anybody to scapegoat. Because the American Recovery Plan or whatever gave them money for to upgrade their warning system. And they refused it. And then they held on to the money as long as they could because they didn't want blue states to have it. And when they had to spend it, they just gave it to the police department for radios.
I don't like unqualified people in charge of government. Hell, I don't like unqualified people ringing up my groceries. And that's why I don't go through the automatic ring-up line. I'm not qualified to do that job. I make the people that are trained to do it. I stand in that one little line where they ring it up for you. And I tell them all the time, I didn't go through the training. I don't know how to run that computer. I don't know how to put in those knobs. That's your job. But all the sheep, they're going through the automatic line. My best friend says, I prefer it. I prefer going through. I don't want to mess with them people. I don't want to talk to them. I said, well, another 10, 15 years from now, because I'm older than them, you'll change your story. You ain't got no patience with messing around with something that you ain't been trained up on. I had to learn how to use all this gear in front of me. When I first started this, I didn't know the first thing about running it. And the person that was training me on it kept saying to me, for your age, I can't believe how quick you catch on to this. I can't believe that you should, somebody your age just normally cannot do all this.
Yeah, that's what they say. When you struggle every time you fucking open the computer.
I didn't know the first thing about how to run any of this stuff. I knew how to run that microphone and this little mixer right over here in the corner. That's what I knew. I knew how to do this right here.
Mm-hmm.
This thing right here. I had a little bit of an idea of how to run a camera, but not really. And I have a sister who's a professional photographer, and I called her and asked her, can you bring me up to speed on these cameras? I don't have time to do that. If it's not a Sony, I don't know even how to operate. So they're all pretty much the same. Refused to even help. Okay. I went on YouTube and I looked up YouTube tutorials, and it took me a year to get proficient with this device right here. And I'm still not great with it. That's what changes the videos for you guys, this right here. And it's all these different camera shots. Right now I've only got one camera and one special effect. And I do the best I can with them. I didn't know the first thing about any of this. But I had a company telling me that they were going to put us on the air and sell advertising, and I fell for it. And I think they were going to do it, but the people that got involved in it with me gave up on it before.
What?
And like I said before, the only way to do this.
Fake advertisers?
But I had a company telling me that they were going to put us on the air.
All right, who's got a Q-Tard company idea that we can sell to Bert as his first advertisers?
And sell advertising, and I fell for it. And I think they were going to do it, but the people that got involved in it with me gave up on it before we got finished. And like I said before, the only way to guarantee you're going to fail is to quit. And they did. They quit. And they wanted me to fail. They said that.
Yes, they had money. They had money coming from the American Rescue Plan that was passed under Joe Biden. It was passed through Congress, though. But anyways, they had money that was given to them. They didn't want it. They said things like this. And one of the major ideas was to upgrade and reinforce their early warning systems. That's the wrong clip. Hold on.
She got up there and she...
For this flood thing. This is them at their county meeting.
We do not want more of Biden's mandates attached to keeping Biden's money.
But these people are communists. They hate America. They're teaching it in our schools. They're invading the border as we speak. I don't think we should take any money from the federal government because they can't be trusted.
Now, we don't need these funds here. We've done just fine. And we'll get by without them. But
fire department.
You spend this money, you're signing a contract with the devil, and the devil's in the White House.
If you vote to keep Biden's money, I will hold you personally responsible and personally liable.
The Biden regime has proven to be tyrannical and anti-American. There is no part of this administration that is the good of America or Americans at heart. We want no part in anything coming down from the federal government. This is Texas, and Texans can take care of Texas.
What? It seems like now you guys are crying on national news saying this and that, trying to blame Obama and a fire department 106 miles away. But this is Texas, and we take care of Texas. We don't need any help.
And I don't believe we should take the money. We should not have it. I don't trust our federal government. I don't think that they're truthful with us. And in these days and these times or whatever, we can't afford to make a mistake.
They decided that they would hold the funds as long as possible because they didn't want them going to a blue state that they didn't agree with. That's literally in the minutes of their meeting. That they'd rather hold on to them and not use them. Then they were finally, after they held them for so long, months, they were told, like, hey, you got to use these funds on something, right? Either do the flood system or something else. And they decided to give it all to the fire department and police department to upgrade their radios and their man packs.
Help me out says Obama should be the first one to be arrested. You know, help me make it out, or help me out, 45. I am beginning to believe that not anybody's going to get arrested.
What? Surely not. Trump didn't run just lying. And all the conspiracy theories around rounding them up and draining the swamp and all that was bullshit because he literally is the swamp. No.
I'm beginning to believe that Donald Trump's going to come out and say, look what I've done to the economy. That's right, Lapel. She says, if I ring myself out, I expect to be invited to the Christmas party or a discount. Yeah, you would think a discount. Ring yourself up and it's a 10% discount. I'm telling you, we're watching it in real time. Machines replacing people's jobs. Right now, in the studio, I'm doing the job of 5 people. Okay?
I'm telling you right now, I didn't think this was real. And the other day I was staying at a hotel with something called a continental breakfast. And I wanted to go see the waffle chef. And I'll be goddamned if they didn't have a robot doing that too. I had to make my own waffles in this robot machine that flips it over. Where's that chef work at now? The Waffle House? That's a horrible job. You know? Now we got a machine. You fill it full of batter. Then it flips itself over after 2 minutes. Machines replacing humans right there. I won't be part of it.
I'm doing a job of 5 people, okay? This right here, this microphone and this mixer, that's the audio guy's job, all right? He don't have a job anymore because I'm doing it. This right here, this is the video editor's job. That's a separate guy running this machine right here, this device, okay? And I'm running the monitor mix right there, and I'm running the lights right there, and I'm running the microphone there. All of that should be the audio guy, okay? And then there's videos and clips that I bring out to this computer, and I drag them into this computer so you guys can, actually I drag them over here to this screen so that you guys can see them on this screen, which is the broadcast that you guys are looking at now. And I'm doing all of that while I'm trying to keep eye contact with the camera and get my thoughts together and read your chat. I'm doing all of this while some of you are being very...
Look at them sausage arms up there. Hold on. Let's zoom in on that. Look at them little sausage links up top. Look at that. They plump when you cook them.
Chat down here on this screen, and some of you are trying to pick a fight. And I'm doing all of this stuff to try and keep you guys informed. You are my audience. I'm trying to make you happy. I'm trying to provide you with a service of informing you of what's happening in the news. I watch it all day long while I sit here and pick out all of those videos that you just watched tonight. I had to watch them earlier today.
He doesn't know how to set up like an accent light and a key light and backfill, and he's sitting here melting in front of incandescent bulbs.
I had to put them in a category on my computer and set them up so that I could get them for you to see them without it taking me 5 minutes between each one of these shots. I'm doing the job of 5 people.
Key light.
Which means that 4 people don't have a job now because of this technology. Because 10 years ago or 15 years ago, this right here, what I'm doing now, would have not been possible. Absolutely would not.
I have a key light. I have an accent light just off screen here that's like top of the head, which should create some shadow, but I'm kind of it doesn't as much as it probably should because this one has to be in a certain space on this side to hit the backfill because I got to light the green screen too. So this one should actually be further back and just lighting the green screen. And this one should create more of a shadow across my face, but it doesn't. I like the way that a little bit of shadow adds depth. And you can see, like, obviously, this cheek is lighter than this cheek. So you can see some of it, but it's not as much as I would like. But whatever. Bert will figure it out.
This is a TV studio in somebody's apartment. Technology allows us now to do stuff that we couldn't even dream of doing. If I had known that we could do this, if this had happened when I was 30 instead of 65, I would have gone to college for it. I would have said, oh, I'm going to create a studio in my house and I'm going to be the next Rush Limbaugh. All this came at the end of my life.
Ooh.
All this came as I was
way close to the end.
Down. I think Robert said just a minute ago, I'll go back and see if I can find it. I meant to read it and I didn't. It's hard to get a job after you're 60 that pays anything worthwhile to live off of, unless you know somebody in a business. People want to hire people.
By the way, he says that no one would even hire him in a casino. From what I know, I'm not in Vegas right now, but from what I know of casinos, they're basically always looking for somebody. And the last time I was at a casino and played a table game, I'm not lying, the dealer that we had just turned 70 years old at a blackjack table. She hired in, they trained her, and she was working through the union. She hired in, they trained her, and she was just bored. Her husband had passed away like 10 years ago, and she wanted to get a job. She was just bored. And she was a decent dealer, and she, it's more like grandma vibes, but still. Bert's like, they wouldn't never hire me, and they won't hire me at a bar because they're corporate, and they're afraid that I'll come take over. The manager's scared that I'll take over because I've ran so many bars.
In their 20s to 45 with job experience. That's 100% right. That's 100% right, Robert. People to say, go and get yourself a job as a bartender. Nobody's going to hire me as a bartender.
Here it is.
Because it's corporate. All of these bars are corporate owned. They look at my application. He goes, he's 66 years old, going to be 67 in next month. And his only experience is he's owned 4 bars. Oh, hell, we don't want him here. He's going to try to take over.
Right.
He's going to try to take over. He'll be no manager, no 35-year-old.
And they handle job placement. It's all union in Vegas? Oh, well, maybe not. I've heard that it's basically all union jobs in Vegas for a casino.
Manager's going to hire me to come to work in their bar. They might hire somebody that has absolutely no work experience at all. But they're not going to hire a guy that's owned 4 bars.
Why? The only way to settle this is to apply, bro. Like, you can think of all the reasons in the world they wouldn't hire me and they wouldn't like this. They're going to like see this on my resume. They're going to hate that. They hate Trump. They hate people with my hairstyle. You just fucking fill it out. They call. If they don't, you can say, well, I tried.
And it's got the background I've got. I'm not hard to find. Look me up. You'll find everything on the internet you want to know. I can't go in and go, I don't have any experience. Because there's video.
Yes, you literally could. They're not going to Google your name and go through 1,000 search results to find a video of you claiming that you own a bar.
Bars. And it's got the background I've got. I'm not hard to find. Look me up. You'll find everything on the internet you want to know. I can't go in and go, I don't have any experience. Because there's videos of me running my bar.
There's videos of him running his bar. So if I type in the word Bert Lynch in Google, this is what I get. That's obviously him from his Facebook. Not him. IMDb. Revenge of the Nerds 2. That's not him. James Ellis. Not him. There's his Facebook. His discography. James Ellis. Bert Lynch, Raise Up Old Glory on eBay. Bert Lynch on Twitter. Bert Lynch Reels on Facebook. James Ellis, the actor. Bert Lynch and Z-Cars. Nope. Where's this video of him running all his bars? Like, are you serious? First of all, you think they're going to Google search you. Second of all, where are they going to find this video of you running all these bars if you just said, I don't have any experience? Could you train me?
My background, they're not going to hire me. If I go to one of these casinos, they're corporate owned too. I'm not qualified to be a blackjack dealer. I'm not qualified to be a poker dealer. I'm not qualified they're not going to hire me. There's a union. They're not going to hire a 66-year-old man as an entry-level bartender in a corporate job. They're not. The only thing they want me to be is a customer.
They would probably search Albert Lynch, by the way, because that's what he put on his resume, and that brings up even less results. It brings up some art, I guess, or a French painter of German and Peruvian ancestry. Yeah, it just brings up a bunch of artwork. So I don't think that's going to happen, Bert. I mean, it's good to tell the old ladies that, so you don't have to actually go try to get a job, but you're just fucking lying.
convenience store, apply for a job there, when all the other applicants are in their 20s and 30s, and they're paying $11 an hour?
Wait, $11 an hour or $0 an hour? Now, it's one thing if you have to have childcare, right? You have to be able to offset child. You can't pay fucking $1,400 a week in childcare and make $700 a week. But Bert, you're a single guy in an apartment you have to pay for weekly. Would you rather have $11 an hour or $0 an hour? And you can still do your fucking show, dude. I'll work and do my show.
Now, you can go to some small town somewhere and say, yo, I'm retired, I just want something to do. And they might give you a job. But then what they're doing is they're taking the job away from an entry-level kid that might be trying to work his way through college.
Ah, so he doesn't even want to get a job because he might be taking it away from somebody. Couldn't you make that argument your entire fucking life? Oh, that's what you've done? Yeah, I could probably get a job, but who am I taking that job away from, man? Some kid, some orphan who feeds puppies while he's off work? Get the fuck out of here.
And they probably want to give that job to them instead of me. She says,
hey there, did you know that the people who live long...
How fucked up, dude.
Surprising thing in common? It's all about...
I probably could get a job, but they probably want to give it to a kid. I'm taking it away from that kid.
I do yesterday. I couldn't get out of bed yesterday. Old people call off work too. Young people don't slip when they get out of bed and take their...
He's never paid into, well, he hasn't paid in enough to Social Security and Social Security disability and all that shit. Nothing.
Hip out. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Trying to be in the workforce in this town, I know, and I think it's probably anywhere around a bunch of young people, when you're a conservative, it would...
Oh, and he can't just keep his mouth shut and do his fucking job. Dude, I get it. Your politics can fuck up your job. That's why you don't take them to your job. You just go do your fucking job.
Be hell.
Wow.
No, Robert says, Bert, if you're overqualified, they won't hire you. That's 100% right. I'm overqualified to work at a bar unless I'm going to be the manager. And they usually promote the managers from within.
So you couldn't even do that. Couldn't even try to be a manager because they do that from within. All this are just excuses where he doesn't even have to try. Go put in applications, document it, put it on your stream saying, hey, I put in this application here I am handing it to the guy.
And most of these bartending jobs out here are union jobs, and the union's not going to let some guy who walks in who's not in the union to come in. You know how I can be a manager of a bar? Buy into it. What I'm trying to do.
Oh, he's trying to buy a bar.
The last 6 months with some other people to buy a bar. I've already taken them and showed them some properties that I recommend. No, don't want.
You bringing a lot of money into this venture?
That one. No, don't want that one. But if we get in one, we're gonna bring you in, and you and your friend are gonna run it. We're gonna do something, but not that one. So I work on that a lot, but it hasn't happened yet.
This close.
I'm asking one more time. If anybody can, please consider making a donation tonight. It's a contribution to the show. It helps me keep it on the air.
That's what it is.
I would appreciate it very much.
Ad revenue on Rumble sucks.
All you got to do is use Zelle or PayPal. I'm sorry, but the website's down. So therefore, you can't go there and hit the donate button like you normally do. Robert says they harass the daylights out of me all the time. The young people where you work? Yeah. The problem is it's better not start harassing a third-degree black belt who's got a really short fuse. You don't want to do that.
Third-degree black belts. Fucking loser. Third degree fucking loser, dude.
Somebody in the chat room tonight learned that, didn't they? Just getting shorter and shorter every day. I think somebody in the chat room tonight learned that, didn't they? I love you. I'm just not going to let you pick a fight with me. We're going to argue.
I got 1.3 million all-time views over on Rumble.
I used to argue with my girlfriends. I mean, look, if you're going to pick a fight with me,
pretty crazy.
Push back. All right. So I appreciate it very much. If you guys can help out tonight, hopefully I'll see something from somebody. And we'll take this up again tomorrow if I can. And when I say if I can, it means if the internet's still on. I mean, I literally have.
I don't know that he's if he is a third degree black belt, what the fuck he's saying? He owned a judo. It's just giving him some type of overconfidence. He is fucking, he's way too old to be running his mouth like that.
To pay all these bills, and we haven't had any luck.
Third-degree friction burn down the back of his throat.
With getting this advertiser thing lined out. I guess they're very busy people, and they will get back to me when they get back to me.
God, I hope it's somebody trolling him and they're recording all the phone calls.
And I haven't told you anything about it yet because I don't want to talk about it until it's going to happen.
Big opportunity, he said. Big opportunity. I can't tell nobody. It's going to be big. I need to take a phone call and check on it. It's going to be big.
I was very excited about it in the beginning. I'm still excited, but, you know, it's like... All right, you guys. I appreciate y'all. Let me see. I haven't even looked to see what the ups and downs are. It's not even recorded, so I guess I haven't hit refresh all night. So we have 12 thumbs up and 22 thumbs down.
But he has thousands of viewers.
Typical. The same 22 people every night. At the top, there's never been more than 25 or 26. Same ones.
There's 32 right now.
Same old tyrants.
Never been more than 25 or 26, 32.
All, you know, good for nothings. But then there's 12 people in the chat room now. So
what does he do during the day? He claims that he watches news all day. So he can be so tapped in that if you have a question, boom. If you need a story covered, he's got it all. From start to finish, straight down the middle, both sides of the story. The Jews are bad.
Well, I guess they're the only ones that hit the thumbs up. That's okay. If you can, follow me. If you can't, you don't have to. I'll still be here.
I'm singing, follow me, everything is all right.
And I left him there because he gets comfortable. Making appearance.
I'm not worried to leave. I can guarantee you won't find nobody.
Well, I'm sorry that Shadow did not make an appearance.
I'm not worried.
He decided to climb into his little basket in the closet, and I left him there because he gets comfortable.
You're feeling guilty and I'm well aware, but you don't look ashamed, and baby, I'm not scared. I'm singing, follow me, everything is all right. I'll be the one to touch it.
How many times do you think he beats it a day?
So thanks to Lapel for being here, and Robert Land, who's lovely.
And not you, Cran.
Thank you to Help Me Out 45, BF McDowell. Cran 45 is in the room. She made her presence known quite nicely. Trying to see who else is here.
Don't give you money, I can't give you the sky. You're better off if you don't ask why. I'm not the reason that.
It looks like Kimber 711 was here tonight. Thank you for that.
All right if you don't
it's going to get to a point where I can't go back and cover them all.
Yeah, that's fine. We know you've got less than 10 people in chat.
And Michael Shadow, God bless.
For chafing, rinse and repeat. That's right. Gotta let the skin regrow.
Don't know how you met me, you don't know why. You can't turn around and say good.
That's your man, Burt Lynch, everybody. It's refreshing to cover Burt sometimes. Plus, I make money doing it because people like Burt to melt down. And when I get donations, Burt melts the fuck down, bro. Melts the fuck down. I can't believe, and he was making fun of me, and they're sending him money to do it. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to support the show, do it at Colbert.fund. I'll make sure to announce it the very next show. Burt will be watching that one too. So that'll be great. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I went way over time, but it was worth it. It's almost 3 a.m. here. I got to go. Love you. See you. Bye. Sorry, Burt.
About if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have.
I make all my money when they want to see little Burt get a little sideways.
By name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your Huckleberry.
That's right. Share all the birds in the chat.
Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk.
Have a good night, guys.
Climbing up 5G towers, cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage.